You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Good evening, welcome to Outside the Box. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, coming at you live somewhere in the universe. Closer to full life again than I have been for the last week, but all things considered, still driving through and getting shit done. That's the game, right? But anyway, thanks for tuning in here to Outside the Box on criticalmassradio.co.uk. I'm going to touch on a whole lot of stuff tonight, and I wanted to get into the Phoenician starter kit, but we'll see where we get to because, a lot of stuff going on. And I'm talking in my own universe as well, things that are being observed and the connections that are being made. And this house of cards is coming down because remember this, when you get all this negative energy and what have you around you, it's not because how do I put this? I want to put this right. That's the mirror to look into, the darkest before the dawn aspect, right? So it's just push through the shit, right? Don't let it grab you. Don't let it get a hold of you. Don't let it take a piece of you. Sometimes it takes, it might take a minute or two, it might take an hour or two, it might even take a day or two to get through some stuff. But we're at a point now where we can just simply walk through and let things go. Stay the course, not your concern. And when you understand that the whole thing about this physical reality is about getting your attention units, getting your goat, and getting you kept busy, so you're going to miss the allegories and the anagogics, caught in the literal nonsense that most of humanity loves to get caught in, basically a fucking reality TV show called humanity. Just stay the course, okay? And there's only a couple things left that actually motivate me, and they're both one and the same, really. I was just asked something about being sometimes you get bored by followers, right? Well, please, I do not want any of those fucking things, right? Flowers, I'll take some flowers, but followers, no. Followers. You see, that's the problem, and it's right in the phonics there. Fa, heart, L, masculine intent, wers, spinouts, half of werewolf, right? Wers at past tense. Look what you were instead of being in the now. Follow wers. It goes on and on. I'm not really interested in that, and simply because when someone is a follower or wants to be a leader, get it? Lead, gold, lead, not a good thing. Poisonous, radioactive, kill you, yes, that kind of shit. Okay, good. Well, shields from radiation, but you get the point. Excuse me, it's hidden in the words. I'm not interested in lead, and I'm certainly not interested in falling lower, okay? That's what happens with pedestals. And we have been so well and so blindly duped for so very long. It's a tough program to break. So, don't give yourself such a hard time. And you see, that's part of the program too. As soon as you think you're not getting something or whatever, you start feeling guilty and stupid and shut up. That's program. Same answer I always like to hear and the one I like to give. Okay. That's going to stop you from monkey chattering right on the spot, and it's going to have you have a look at it. Then you're going to ask yourself, how relevant is that in, let's play the literal game for a sec. How relevant is that going to be in 10 years? And how relevant was it 10 years ago? And the answer is going to be fucking zero on both counts, so put the zero in the now because the present and the future are now. And this is when you start getting mastery over this time illusion. And it'll keep you in a 0 point. Or you can keep going with the monkey chatter and proving this theory and that theory, and you're going to bore the fuck out of me, and I'm going to tune you out anyway. Or, if I have just enough, I'm going to come upside the head with a baseball bat with a nail in it and give you a smack with it. And tell you, wake the fuck up. We sit at this table as equals. Nothing less, nothing more. That's how I see all of humanity. And we have been so well demonized into, well, you be the leader, I'll be the follower game, the duality, the split reality, the demigod and the god, kind of mentality. It's absolutely retarded. Even this whole notion of mythologies and what have you, with the demigods and the titans and the Olympians and whatever, these are all predisposed to separation, divide and conquer. When you can separate yourself from the physical reality that you are fucking gawking at as somehow being real, which it is, it feels very real. Listen, that's some wood. Yeah. We've done a masterful job of creating this, but we've also done a masterful job of trapping ourselves in our own nightmare. Okay? So stay the course on this, guys. Question everything within yourself. Because the only question you're ever going to ask outside of yourself is one that you know the answer to. Because when you know the answer to a question, it's like this. If I was to ask a judge, is any use of the legal name fraud on my part if I use it, and does it entice me and make me into a slave so that you can rape my sorry ass? I already know the answer. So I already know my choice. But I'm going to ask that question, and the wanker that's being asked has got the responsibility now, because that is a quest ion. That is something that cues that individual, that puts them in a exposed position. Life pose, yeah. So they're going to have to make a choice. Are they going to turn themselves against life, or are they going to turn themselves against the death that they're living? And if they're soulless, who gives a fuck anyway? They're just meat sticks. I don't care. Right? It's broken TV sets. That's all it is, right? And I got a new little phrase. Well, I've never heard it before. I thought it was kind of interesting. Alvita, I love that emoticon that you use for the like. It's got a little character with a hammer, like swinging down to smack the like button, which is, it made me giggle the first time I saw it. Oh, that's adorable, and it says the truth exactly. So, coined a phrase. Here, this is for David Shilcock. Let's see if you've coined this one. Smoticon, which I thought was kind of cute. But anyway, I really wish people would get a hold of David Shilcock and offer up some more. Some of your original phrases that he can take as well, because he's an empty little shill, obviously, because you see, only empty soulless programs need to steal. Imagine that, because they can't create. And the only way they can feel like they're creators is by telling others that they created it. Listen, if I was to count the people that plagiarized my work or stole lyrics and songs and melodies and stuff from me over the years, I'd lose count. I'm thinking, if that's the level of your creation and that's what you need to do, well, don't worry about it, because I got thousands and thousands of more songs than me. I feel sorry for you. I had band members do it. I had one guy that was absolutely useless at singing. I think was involved with a radio station, and it asked me to come over and do a co-write with him. One, he didn't play guitar worth a shit, couldn't sing worth a fuck, had no original thoughts in his mind, and what song did I write that? Halfway Home. It was the night I wrote Halfway Home. All he did was went upstairs to the fridge to get Coke. Not one fucking bit of input. But I'll tell you, what happened a little bit later was he decided to take a recording that I had done of it, because he was interested in learning how to play it. And next thing I know is I'm getting word back that he's in a recording studio trying to record it, and he's in this. I heard back from another manager friend in the industry that this little wanker was up on stage claiming the song is his. And so I called him up basically the next day and says, "You're going to cease and desist, or I'm going to have you fucking charged." And he stopped. Now this is back in the day, right? It's like, but it was just retarded. And that's what I think of people like, Shilcock and the rest of these. And by the way, for all the gurus out there, I got one to not only call or bluff, but I'm going to raise the ante to infinite, because we got a little girl that's less than 8 years old. I'm gonna start off with this tonight. That has it down cold more than Tammy Pepperman or Dean Clifford or Sandra Bonacci or Winston Shrout, David Icke, David Shilcock, Alex Jones. Let's go right down the whole fucking list here. Ken Hoods. Who else we got? Heather Tukey Giraffe, whatever the fuck her name is. It's hard to remember these shills. Or shidiots. Let me call them shidiots. Okay? You're either a shill or an idiot, right? Choose. It's an easy choice, right? If you got good intention, well, you're just being an idiot. If you got evil intention, well, you're a shill. And by one's actions, one is known. And I'm out to collect as many goats of these morons as I can possibly get to get them talking. Because I'll tell you, if they're talking about me, good or bad, I don't give a fuck as long as the word gets out. Babylon has fallen. That's all I care about. And what I'm about to read for you, all you big, strong men and women out there, is the power of an 8-year-old. It's going to make you look silly. Wayne, I'm so grateful. And I want to make sure I got the name right. I believe her name is White. If you could confirm that for me, just let me know. That would be great, Wayne. But I'd love to have her come on and bring some of her friends, and I'll be polite, a lot more polite than usual, because that's exactly why I do this, because my own kids don't get it. But I'll tell you, all children everywhere matter to me as much as my own. So I'd like to share a story from one of my other daughters. Thanks for doing all the work, Wayne and co. Let me see. Let's get down to this. And I'll try to hold my ground while I read this. This was something to wake up to today. Here was the post I just put up. Wayne had shared it earlier. I've been chomping at the bit to get on the air tonight just because of this. And I really hope she's listening tonight because thank you. You make my life worthwhile. It's the only thing that does. This is the magic I speak of. And truly the only thing that keeps me in the game here, the children. Even if my own don't see this, humbly grateful that all my other children do. Looks like kids' night coming up. This is shared from Wayne and his daughter. Well, got to the school, put Kate stocks on teachers' cars that my friend did for me, put some in the staff room and on notes board, LOL. Got to the headmaster's room. And the first thing I said to her was, before you say anything, bring my daughter in here and her teacher. Because I was not there and you were not there and they were. So she got them in and my daughter had a big fucking smile on her face. I just wish I had a picture of that. And said what she said to her teacher. So I said, so what's wrong with that? So the headmaster said, it's not just that she's always asking questions. How dare a child ask questions? And saying, how do you know that? Well, it's because she's smarter than you, stupid. And how do you know it's true? What we're learning, you're telling us something from a book. And the headmaster said to her, it's not easy to teach a lot of children. Well, then stop doing that job because you're obviously not fucking capable, dipshit. So my daughter said that anyone can read from a book. It's just so boring. We can still learn and have fun. I can do a better job now. Now I had a big fucking smile on my face. So then the headmaster said to her, okay, you can take the class next week, and you will see just how hard it is. Okay, this is trying to be a threat to this kid. You'll find out soon enough, but did I mention she's a Gemini? Don't fuck with us. So my daughter said with a big smile, my favorite answer, okay, but I don't want you telling me what to do, because then that will be you teaching, not me. And if I do a good job, can I have his job? And the headmaster said, I think you're too little for a job yet. So my daughter said, what's that got to do with it? As long as I do a good job. Then she got up with a smile and said, I'm bored now and want to go. I have said all I need to. I want to go and play with my friends now. I didn't get a fucking word in. Halfway, I guess would be, and halfway you'd try to talk. Have you tried to talk over a Gemini? So off we went. When I was taking her back to class, she stopped and said, Dad, do you think that Kate will do a show for us kids? Oh, you absolutely, hon, this is why I do the shows. It's the only reason I do them. And she just gave me a big hug. Sorry, a hug and a big smile. and said, "See you later." Bye, and ran to tell her friends, yes, she listens to your cat on Sunday because she likes Saturday night, bitch night. I love it. I know I'll be back there again because the look on their faces was like, we need to get her out of here. So all I'll say now is that the kids are waking up and starting to stand. So to all you big, strong men and women out there, if a little girl of almost 8 can stand up in her truth, why can't you? I forgot to say, she said to the headmaster on the way out, you do know there is a reason why history is called history, because I do. I just wanted to cry with joy. Thank you, Kat, for waking up my little girl. Love to all of you. Wayne? I got no words. You have no idea the gratitude. I couldn't wake my own up. No words. Go ahead, tell me you can't stand now. I fucking dare you. That's the reason I do this, guys. And that hit straight to the heart. With the softest rose I've ever been touched with. So Wayne and White, yeah, it's kids' night every night, hon. And I'd be honored to have you at the table. I know it's a bit late and everything else, but I figure, if you're going to be teaching school, you got to learn how to drink and party and smoke with the rest of the drones anyway. So you might as well get started now, right? But anyway, I'd love to have you guys on. I really would. Yeah, where do you go from there? Like, how do you touch that? How do you top that? I've had a hell of a day, in all regards. I mean, with every beautiful blessing, there's always some crazy ass last minute shit that's going to come flying at you, and it came at me, and it's like I got a few things that were left at a friend's, on his property. It's like, I don't know, 100 acres like that, and it's a fridge, stove, and appliances and whatever. And probably, I would not even want to count the tools and whatever. Master carpenter, you can just imagine what's in the boxes. But my attitude right now is, well, do what you want. There's nothing I can do with it right now. Dig a hole and bury it. That's what it means to me. And if that's what it means to you, then that's what it means to me. I'm at that point for a long time, but that was, and then I find out my oldest daughter's working for the same place I did the Songwriter Cafe for 5.5 years, and not really too happy about that, given that the owner of the place likes to diddle his staff. But I ended up marrying one, and I had a good chat with his daughter Emily, ironically same name. I guess about a year later, when I was doing a show, that would be in 2010 when I was working with Inverness. I was doing it was kind of solo pre-shows. I did a couple of solo pre-shows for the main stage events that were going on the following weekend. It's kind of like an introduction thing, and it turns out that his daughter Emily was working at the pub that I was performing at, and I got the details, and I already knew what was going on, and there was a lot of backstabbing going on around that. That's why I had to stop the cafe, because the last thing that Tom wanted was to be exposed for the bullshit he was doing. And I could see it in his eyes, I could feel it, and it's like, well, this won't last too much longer. Didn't find out the full facts until full facts about a year later. But that's the thing about truth, though. It always comes around. There's no way you can hide bullshit. No way. You can't do it. And that's why teachers and headmasters like these programmed robots, they got a tour de force to reckon with there. They just got owned lock, stock, and barrel by less than an 8-year-old. Okay? So don't tell me the children don't know. Don't tell me you haven't got the strength to stand. if pride is a vice, let me have this one vice for tonight. The amount of pride I feel for this child in Wayne, that's where the lion roars. That's the pride of the lion right there. There's a great post on my Facebook as well. You guys are awesome. There's so many, and so much stuff is going down. I mean, you got that sick bastard mayor of Toronto. Apparently, the analysts think that his ratings are going up because he's a crack smoker, due to all the crack smoking that goes on in Toronto. So apparently, smoking crack is good PR and good vote gathering material. They're expecting him to win, and that's going to tell you an indication of the society around it, right? Yeah. Anyway, this fat fuck is in the Homewood Sanitarium in Guelph. We all know what that town's about, right? Judge Bows, pillage me and my family and what have you for exposing the evil. What do they call that? A conspiracy, I guess. Like the Guelph Mercury, Phil Andrews, they like to doctor up the papers and make sure that the right word goes out for all their Masonic buddies. At the time was Rob Davis, another evil fuck that got fired for overstepping his boundaries. Well, it wasn't long before that his coward deputy chief, Brent Eden, tucked tail and ran after knowing going into severe depression 3 years before, once he found out what was really going on. I guess Brent didn't have the stomach for demon worship and what have you, but he's still comfortable with the money. So I guess it doesn't really matter which way you're sucking the whore's tits, left or right, either or, you're still getting poison. So enjoy that and all the pleasures that come with that. In the spiritual sense, your soul is buggered. You're done. List goes on. Homewood Sanitarium. That's the place that actually helped murder my mom. Yeah. Lots of beautiful things about that place. Is it coincidence? It's on Delhi Street. Yeah, I didn't think so either. They just forgot to put the P in Delphi. Delphi Oracle and the Delphi technique, right? List goes on and on. But Mayor Karen Farbridge and the other part of the Manhattan Pizza. Tom loved to entertain all the Mercury people and all the cops, and would, and this is where I knew any of this shit went on. Right? So I knew about all these things that would happen. Even it was one of the fancier places in Guelph, right? Jazz club and everything else. And excuse me, it was common that they would have their little soirees there. So I can only imagine what was going on after hours. And that's where my daughter is, right in the fucking middle of a cyst in the whore. So that's how my day sort of starts out. But so in the mirror, complete opposite. There it is. So there's your curse and blessing at the same time. No, it is extremely pain. Someone asked me if I was bored, the followers, and it's not the followers thing, and I already explained what I think of followers. What it is with me is I'm just bored of the pain, the same pain over and over, knowing that people are killing themselves spiritually. That's the hard thing to watch. That's what I'm bored of. Okay? So let's make that one real clear. Real clear. I just want to go down to this one poster that someone had shared. There's so many great things shared here, guys. I could do, here it is. I could do shows just on these things. Capria, love this one. Be a fucking wolf. Be a fucking lion. Take no shit. Set goals. Smash them. Eat people's faces off. Be a better person. Show people who the fuck you are. Never apologize for being awesome. Stay the motherfucking course. And that's it. Pretty much sums it up. And there's Alvida's Schmoticon. There we go. Love it. Love it. So let's get the lines open here anyway, guys. And let's as much as I want to do the Phoenician starter kit, it's beautiful things like this that really need to be conveyed. And this is the energy I love to stay in. I mean, you've got a kid that is less than 8 years old talking better than any piece of shit fucking legalese type sovereign free man guru moron idiot on this planet. And you have no idea how good that's such a warm, cozy feeling. Thank you. Bless the beasts and the children indeed. We got Bindi, Randy, and looks like Lynn.
Love.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there. Wow. That's
Bindi,
gobsmacking stuff.
I just got to say, Bindi, because of you reminded me of the two cellos. I was crying when I was listening to that just because of what's going on. There was no specific thing. My vibration was really up, down, and like you had stated earlier in the room, that music really tuned you in. And thank you, bless you, thank you, so much love. I'm still like teary from what you read. And I really, it was beautiful, but I'm not normally that spirit, but I love that I am now. Thank you. Thank you to that kid.
Ditto. Yeah, it's a weird time, eh? The energies are fluctuating from minute to minute. Yeah. What am I hearing?
I just opened up 816, so just letting you know. And David from Arizona, I just got your text. Thanks. Call in, man. Love to hear from you again. 816, your mic's open too. Just letting you know.
Hey.
Hey, how are ya?
Good. I'm not on it, right?
Of course you are. It's a phone call.
Oh, geez. Well, I turned my speakers down, so I didn't know. Anyway, I've been listening to you for quite a while, and I got kind of burnt out for a little bit ago. I don't want to make this all about me, but kind of it is all about me because I'm the one that uses my vessel and my vehicle in this world to try to make a change or try to not make a change, whatever I'm choosing. And I don't know, you're an inspiration, and I'm not sitting here to blow smoke up your ass because I think you're so great, but I do.
Well, it's impossible
but
anyway. You know
that. What I really want to talk about is, I'm talking maybe a little bit too fast. What I really wanted to say is that you do still inspire me, and yet when we talk about borders and such, I'd love to come to Canada and sit and have a cup of coffee with you, and you talk about how we can just stand at the border and say, no, we stand in our own truth, and it's not, you're just not running me. I'm a universal, sovereign human being. And that sounds so great, but then when I think about impacting that in my reality, then some fear comes in that, wait, they're going to shut me down, and maybe I won't be strong enough. How do we go strong enough?
Well, that's the neat thing about, and I'm glad you brought this up. What's your map reference, a.k.a. name, formerly name?
Linda Lamont.
Oh, okay. Linda, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's. I just need a map reference so that I'm talking to the right me. That's all. It's not a legal thing at all.
My middle name, which is actually Kathy. So if you really want to go there, I'm Kathy vibrationally.
Okay, let's call you Kate too then, shall we?
Yeah, let's do.
Works for me. Yeah, you bring up a very incredible point, and the only allegory that comes to mind every time this kind of thought passes through is the walls of Jericho, and it is the cumulative sound of our trumpets, of all of us waking up. It's going to take all of the walls down without touching them, without having to try to pass through them, without having to do anything physical. That's what that allegory is to me. It is the representation of the power of the spirit and the rising consciousness sound, which is reality, changing, and it's too high for the low frequency walls of the system to maintain. And that's where, when it won't be one border coming down, it'll be all of them at the same time. And then we all
get it. So when we all stand in this truth, and when we all stand and believe in our sovereignty, then that's when it's not just one at a time, but one at a time over and over and over again that the impact is made.
It's when we get
the borders and the walls come crumbling.
Yeah. It's when we become ourselves. We become the one that we're here to save. Okay, so that's a critical one. Now that's being singular. Now we want to be then separate. What we want to be is all at the same time. So when we gather as individual points of one in knowing, we create the bigger point of one that is all of us. That is the if but one shall awaken. And that's what's happening right now. And the more these frequencies keep lifting, and we're not going to yield on this stuff. There's no way. We got the high ground, and we just keep climbing. And that stubborn goat. You want to see? Watch some crazy goats and how they climb and everything else, right?
Right.
There was an interesting picture I saw yesterday that had a goat standing right on top of this, like, I don't know, you can't call it a mountain. It was just like this outcrop of rock. Really, it must have been, 500 feet tall, but it was right at the very top, and it actually looked like a bit of a human head and whatever. And I just looked at it and thought, that's so perfect. And the only green that was in the picture that I could see was where the goat was standing. And it climbed all the way up there to get that. And that's what we're doing here.
Amazing. And that's what we're doing. And so when I envision standing at the border thinking, okay, they're going to want this, they're going to want that, they're going to want the other, instead, my aura, my frequency has to be higher than what they're looking at. And that's when they, although I might even miss the mark, they might kick me back to the curb. But I've stood and I've encompassed this paradigm of, okay, what I'm saying is I'm just not me all alone doing it. So I don't stand there as just me. I stand there as a collective and present myself as me, as one, as a collective. I mean, I'm just trying to put this in a reality point of view because, there's going to be times when and I know that they're going to kick us back and say, hey, you don't got to pay for it, get on back. And then it's going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, you can say that because you can carry that. But in reality, we all can carry that. You've opened a pathway, you've opened a portal, and you've opened a vibratory frequency, and we're all welcome to walk in that. But we have to walk in that. And if we stand alone and think that, just like me, I'm going to go stand there and say, oh, I'm gay guy, blah, 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 blah. They're not going to let me through. But if I stand as a sovereign, universal energy, then, in fact, that's enough. And if they take me back, I go back.
You follow your heart on this. This is why I tell people, do that only which you know the answers to and are capable of. Never anything more. This is one of the reasons why we hold the high ground every time in any situation dealing with any government or whatever. I don't care if it's collection, a cop, a lawyer, a judge, whatever. We hold the high ground every time because the questions that we're going to ask, we already know the answer to. Every question they're going to ask is one of doubts because they don't know the answer and they're looking to get something. They know the answer they want. That's not the answer they're going to get because all they're going to get is a question that's going to make them responsible for their nonsense. Right? So just hold that mindset. And again, just do that which you are capable of doing. I've done a lot of things. People say, I couldn't. Well, that was my job to do it. And it doesn't have to be done again because it was done once, so it's done for all. That's how it works. So every one of you have got an intentionally magical spirit trick that only you have. There's something just only you have. And that's what you got to find within yourself. And someone had asked me earlier today, let me just go, I thought it was very poignant. And this is hopefully this will hit home with you guys as much as it hits home with me. It came in from Mindworker. Thank you for this post earlier today, by the way. She wrote, Hola, Kate. I'm now reading Phoenician spells and finally getting what you're saying on the show. Is there somebody else on this planet on your level? I can already feel the cold inside of me if for some reason, good or bad, you weren't able to do your thing like only you can do. And as I wrote, this is my silly spirit trick. We all have one. And I've often pondered that by taking myself out of the world equation to see what the world would be like. And you need to do this with yourselves. Take yourself out of the equation and look at all of the wonderful things and effects and everything that you have created in your fractal. Now you take yourself out of that and try to imagine the world, which would be impossible without you.
If I could for a minute, I'd like to just share something that made me think of you today. And I was at my daughter's house and I was babysitting for my grandbaby. And she had a book that was talking about the vibratory frequency of words. I don't know the name of it. Something about words cast spells, blah, blah, blah. And I just randomly opened it up. And I'm a 5 person. I got all kind of Mercury, a whole lot. You know, not that we care that much about what my personal frequency is, but I did open it to a place that said 5, and that 5 resonated with the word fight. And I always remember coming out as a breech baby is fighting my way through and always having to fight in any situation, just fighting, and fighting society, fighting the powers that be, fighting life. And then it said to substitute the word fight for work. Well, that, you know, I don't like the word work either, per se. But then when I thought about the word work, it's also the work. Being mindful is work. Being, I'll just stop right there. Being mindful is work. Being mindful and on top of what you're doing on a regular basis is work, because you're being conscientious, and otherwise you're not. I'm trying to put the word work to
okay, well, here, let me share the Phoenician version of work. Let's throw it in the mirror, okay? So work is the physical effect that we cause with physical bodies, yeah? You know, you grab a shovel, it's work, dig a hole. So we grab a shovel, we dig a hole, we've done our work. Okay, now let's put that in a spiritual mirror. So throw the word backwards and you have crow. And that's your cause, your spiritual cause, right? Crown, the crow that's yours. That's the little trick of the tail that they did with the crown thing. But, yeah, they like to make the infinite mind, you know, their cause. No. I wear my own crow, thanks very much.
I don't understand that. Would you say that again? I don't understand the crow thing. Could you say that again?
All right. Well, this goes back. I've done this over a few shows, but let's look at the word crow for a second here and what it represents allegorically. It's always surrounding truth, and crows are well known to probably be one of, if not the smartest birds on the planet. And there's a reason why there always has to be 6 ravens at the Tower of London, and that is a physical allegory of claiming the cause. That's what the sound that crows make, cause, right? They want to control the cause of reality. So when people are worshiping the crown by being, you know, it's a legal name. That says that you're a crown worshiper. Sorry, that's just what it is. Okay, we're all pretty okay with that. We get it. We get that. But I just want to show the trap that's contained in that allegorically. So if we are in agreement to the crown, what that's saying is we're giving our power to their crow, and there's an N on the end of it, which makes it, for them, it makes it infinitely theirs. Crow, N. N is a word that anything that's attached to it, it makes ownership of. Okay? It's like crow N, which means crow, mine. And that's the whole trickery of pronouncing. They say crown, so you're not. How many times in your life, growing up as a kid, did you look at the word? You might have looked at it when you were a kid and said crone, you know, and oh no, it's crown.
I've seen people that are like, I don't know, like Freemasons or whatever, you know, people who are OTO and stuff that would say, there's another jewel for the crow, but they were really saying crown, and I didn't get it.
Yeah, well,
there's another jewel for the crow. What is?
Well, the crow is the allegory of cause. Okay, whoever owns the crow owns the cause. So if you give yourself over to the dead crone, you're giving over your infinite cause to them. And as soon as you put your own crown of Thor that's yours, the cause that is mine with the authority, the hammer of truth that is mine, crown of thorns. Sound familiar? When you put that crown of thorns on yourself, you get that beautiful crown as soon as you come through your crucifixion. Actually, you get it on your journey, right?
So is there an N somehow? The N, like a Z? What's the N?
Oh, yeah. Flip it around. Yeah, flip it around, flip it over. I went through that one night with all the letters, how many ways they can be turned around, upside down, backwards. There's only 2 letters in the alphabet that can only be seen one way, no matter where and how you lay it out, and that's the O and the X. And isn't it funny that we use the O for hugs and the X for kisses, right? XOXO. Isn't it funny that we play X's and O's, which is an infinite game of why are you bothering to play? Because once you master the game, let's go back to War Games, the movie at the end. They use tic-tac-toe or X's and O's to shut down the supercomputer because it realized the game was pointless. Once you master the game, nobody wins. Right?
Shut down the supercomputer. There's like I and O's and only O and X's, so kind of the same, only different, huh?
Yeah, it took X's and O's to kill the supercomputer. And that is another allegory of the simplicity of where we have to get. So when people get off on all these literal tangents, this is, if I ever sound agitated, it's because it's getting so far away from being conceptual, which means if you're going to be conceptual, you're giving birth here, okay? If you're caught up in the literal stuff, what's happening is you're just reinforcing the same old shit that is garbage. We know for a fact that since the Rockefellers took over the schools, anything that resembled history, real history, was destroyed and rewritten. I mean, you've got Rand McNally. Rand is a defense contractor, one of the military-industrial complex, one of the big guys. And they're the ones writing books for schools? Yeah, gee, you might want to wonder. Yeah, you might want to wonder why, if you're taking history in school. I know I was a history English major. These were the things I loved throughout my life. Everything was about what? War.
And on that note, I would like to take a moment to just say thumbs up to what your daughter did. That was pretty awesome for a little young lady.
My other daughter from another. How do we put that?
Daughter from another mother?
Yeah, sister from another mister. Yeah, it's and that's in the UK, by the way, guys. So big thumbs up for the UK right now. Of course, it's home turf. I'm not going to be partial here, but yeah, come on, guys, let's stand up here. A little island, tiny little island. You got Ireland and England, Scotland, Wales. It's like this. Have a look at the world map and look at the control. Okay, seriously. It's crazy fun.
Yeah. Indeed. And Kate, I know that you have plenty of people who want to talk, and I'm very, I don't even have the word, but thank you for the time that you let me on your show tonight. And,
Kathy. Okay, here, let me share this with you right now, sister. This is your table. You don't have to thank yourself for sitting at your own table. Now, do you?
Yeah.
See, anyone that wants to thank me for being here, I'm going to say, well, thank you for being here. And we're going to neutralize that. We're going to get rid of all of that because we're going to start understanding fully that we are equal at this table. We are together at this table. So your mic's open, hon. So I don't close the mics unless there's a lot of noise going on and what have you. But the mic's open, so feel free. This is what the table is. This is Table Talk. We got Janet just jumped in as well. We still got Bindi and Randy and Lynn. So have at her, guys. Let's open this up and let's really carry this energy over the top tonight.
Oh yeah, I love that, sharing, Linda. The beautiful butterfly energy, and my heart's still melting from the story with Wayne and the daughter, and just the energy is so, oh gosh, beautiful. So I just wanted to say that's just so great. Wow.
I'm without interruption. Randy, as you say, butterfly energy, that just struck me because, as I said, I was babysitting earlier. My daughter went, and she was giving out flyers that were a camping experience coming up in June that was a lotus type of image, and not new agey, but And her daughter had said, she said, "Where'd Mom go?" And I told her she went to pass out flyers, and she said she went to catch butterflies. And I said, yeah, she went to catch butterflies. And we went out and caught butterflies. So I just thought that was kind of neat that you improvised and spoke about catching butterflies.
Hey, Janet. No, that was Janet.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. No apology necessary. Just to clarify. That's it, That's a mild scuba nose. It's okay. It's just Janet. It's all good. Just Kate, just Janet, just Randy, just Vinny.
Was just right on time as a fluke that even came up in my world, and that you repeated it. I like that kind of stuff. Yep.
Coincidences all the time.
So, jump in, guys.
Yes, I would love to. The energy was just so beautiful. I was crying with you. Earlier today, I had watched a video that I believe was Galen posted on just kind of random acts of kindness. I blubbered through the whole thing. The energy of your beautiful children. I cried. It's just so, it's a joyous tears, I just know that. I am lucky and blessed enough to be able to be surrounded by children. Well, all the time. All the time. I've said for a long time that they really help keep me young at heart. I get to see the world through their eyes. And, it's, I know, it's a beautiful thing. I don't take it for granted. I just wanted to share that. Thank you, Wayne, for sharing such a beautiful story with us. It's going to change the world.
Indeed. Another one, just another comment here from Naomi. Thank you, Naomi. Had some wonderful chats with Naomi. Her daughter Jody just wanted to send her love and wanted to say that we all do not need the government. The children, guys, if you can't stand for yourselves, for fuck's sake, stand for the kids.
Yeah. They know.
Do the kids in Africa, do they need a government? A lot of them do, but the ones that are tribal, still together, right, with their clans, they seem to be perfectly happy without a government. I know I'm looking forward to it. In fact, I have no government. But I'm looking forward to everyone, no government. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
He's here.
I have a granddaughter, and she spoke the other day about, she said, "You know who my mother is?" I said, "No, Rihanna." She says, "My mother's Mother Nature. I am Mother Nature's child," and she's like 9. And that's just all real cool, because, every time we go somewhere, she picks up all the trash, and, then we end up getting our arms full of trash, and she wants to go back and get another bag to load up some more. And I'm not bragging about what a great kid she is, but she's a great freaking kid, And when more they can be instilled with that, not just, playing it off and oh, look at me, and I, but to really have that in them, and it's sad because generally when you choose Mother Nature as your mother, that means that you're not nurtured on a basis that we would all like everyone to be. But on the other hand, then it brings something into the foray that would not otherwise happen. So I just wanted to share that.
Hey, Katie, what is the significance of the period? Does that translate to anything, or is that something invented later?
Well, again, that's something I really never, I haven't got into all of the, what do you call it? I've done a few
punctuations.
Of the punctuations, right? Well, there's the punct, U, A, shuns, right? A, the capital letter A is as your bridged consciousness into singularity. Make the letter A with your hands, right? First finger and thumb on each hand. And you get the idea of what that's all about. Because remember, Gemini rules the hands and the arms and the lungs. That's your Gemini.
Is it more a punch you in the face thing? Yeah.
Well, yeah. But again, it's I just like it as a sentence. Punked you, as in, fucked you over. A, which is your bridged creations that you're sending from below to as above. Shuns.
Yeah. Punked you in the eye.
Yeah. Punked you and your creation shuns. Like you're shunning your own creation. Right? So, again, period.
Yeah. And I find it a nice reference to what you said earlier. Like, you speak truth. If you need to rip someone's face off or punch them in the eyes, you will. Well, there you go.
Yeah, period.
Yeah, period.
Can you talk a little bit about shun? Because to me, shun is like Shin is the ultimate computer that runs stuff. Shun, Shin.
Well, again, we can make it sun. Yeah, well, again, don't limit yourself with one or two definitions, because there are so many ways to look at it. It just depends on how you are looking at it. Shun, letter by letter, is you have the divine feminine kundalini in the ash, or the H. There's the phoenix risen from the ash, with intent, you, that is infinitely mine. So there's a lot of power in that sound. And it's about the sounds, right? Unless you redefine the sounds to what you want that sound to be, you're letting someone else's reality shape yours. So this is why we have to break these things down for ourselves. And every word that gets shifted into an anagogic translation, which means just a higher meaning to self only, that's where your realities are shifting. That's what I'm seeing with me anyway. That's what I experience.
And when we listen to you and choose your ideology and the things that you share, even though they sound so grand, they still have room for improvement.
Oh, absolutely, right? Absolutely. I just have pieces like we all do, right? I'm bringing my pieces, and I'm just apparently pretty good at cherry picking everybody else's. So, because I care to see the beauty in everyone, and that's all I'm doing is I'm looking at look at that crazy awesome spirit trick that Sevon's got and Bill's got, and Santo and all these other people. They got their own beautiful tricks. So I'll just cherry pick, but don't get caught in a trick, right?
Right.
It's the tool. Don't be the tool. It is the tool. So I share the tool that I have with others so that they can play around with it. And I got to tell you, when I first started coming out, people ask me, well, are there any books on this? And this is, no, as far as I know, I'm the one writing it. I've never read anything about it. It was a complete intuitive when it hit me. I mean, I had the clue from my oldest daughter when she was a kid, EA. That was where it really all started. Well, it's like this too. I mean, I use all of the rules of the English, grammar and all the rest of it, and then because I use all the rules, I break all the rules with all the rules. The language is a singularity. It's a language of a master or a slave. The master is the one that chooses the definitions for themselves. Look at the power words have to affect emotion. If emotions can be affected, the mind can be entered. Now you have two choices here. Are you going to put a malevolent intent in someone or a benevolent? And that is the real choice that we are making when we are creating. We are creating every word we say. That's why monkey chatter, I know what's going on. I could just sit around and listen to people talk, and it's like, fuck, they know what they're creating. Just reinforcing the same
like
stuff.
The logos, when the logos were made flesh, indeed, if we want to use biblical principles, which normally I don't, but when the logos, what was sound was made flesh, what was acted into reality, it kind of goes back to that a little bit, right?
Oh, that's exactly right. I would actually, I'm just wondering if Paul's around tonight, because I'm sure he could expand on that way better than I can. I'm very fortunate in the position that I'm in here. I get to sit in a very central position and observe a lot of amazing people doing their amazing things. And I go, that's cool. Got to bring that to the table. Come on, bring your stuff here and show everybody your awesomeness. And this has been the hardest thing for me is to share that truth with everyone, that you are the most incredible, awesome being in the universe. Why are you acting like a fucking idiot? Thinking you're less than that. I know I was for a long time, and I'm working myself back to it because I know this. And there are many others out there that do know that. So maybe Paul, I've got Paul, if Paul's there, I'll maybe get him to touch on the logos a little bit. And Boran, your mic's open as well, my friend.
Hey, how we doing? That little girl is my hero, and here's what I can bring to the table for everybody. I'm a Scorpio, like Bindi, and Scorpios know the hearts of men. We know the truth about how people think. That's how Scorpios work. And all we care about is truth and nothing but the truth, okay? So this little girl, I hope you all realize what this little girl just did. What she just did is she opened up a can of worms for everybody. And what we need to do is, and I've been saying this for a long time now, you have to go back to being a little kid. You have to go back to the innocence. You have to wipe all this bullshit out of your fucking brain. Yeah, it's great that Kate is bringing all the details together. It's great that Siobhan is bringing all the details together. It's great that Bill Donahue brings all the details together. But the details are bullshit. You just have to go back to being that innocent little kid where you already know this shit. You know, nobody even knew. And that's what I'm here to tell everybody is that the game is over, folks. The game is fucking done. Everybody by now knows what is fucking going on. Now, whether or not they're gonna, acknowledge that and stand up in it because of being afraid or being entrapped in a program or whatever. No. We're at the point now where everybody already knows shit. All they need to do is grow some balls and stand up just like that little girl did. And there you go. There you have it.
Absolutely, Boran. And, I mean, we're talking dump truck size like she has. I couldn't agree with you more. And, yeah, those are my heroes. Every time any of you do something, you make yourself my hero. I'm looking for heroes because I already know I am one. Lonely, so I want heroes. This is my script that I'm writing, my superstar cast, which is you, in as much as I'm part of your superstar cast. In my movie, you're all superstars. And I'm just waiting for that moment where the director says, okay, this is where the grand finale comes in and everyone just goes whoosh and the whole thing's done. And it's the whole movie, all it's waiting for now is you. I mean, I can only call action every night so many times. Okay, guys, the film's rolling.
Hey, Katie.
Oh, go ahead.
Did you post that? I'll be brief. Did you post that letter on Face Tweet or something that she wrote you, that note?
Yeah, it's on Facebook. I'll post it directly to you, Randy. Just give me a second here.
Oh, you don't have to do that. I've
already got it in my copy paste. It's already there.
Okay, all right. And then Borean, I just wanted to say, tag, you're it.
My favorite part of what that little girl said, and here's the beauty of this whole game and why it is so fucking simple. My favorite part of what she said is I'm bored. I'm going to go out and play with my friends now. That's simple.
That's it. I said, you guys had enough of your time to wake up moment? Because I got shit to play, babe. And I loved it. I said, have you ever tried?
We've got people. This is why me and Katie are getting so fucking pissed off and frustrated at this point at times. That we need to realize this so we can start talking about real shit and stop talking about this bullshit and start talking about hopes and dreams and creating a new world and all these other things. But until...
Oh, shit, we just lost him. He just dropped out. I know where he's going, and he's absolutely right. This is one of the things, one of the main things that drives me nuts when people start going off on anything regarding legal remedy in the rooms. And and just for those that are in the Skype rooms, the only reason that people that don't have me in their direct contacts that are in the room, it's not like, and I did have a couple tag me, is, well, listen, if I'm going to host a dinner and everything else, I'd love to know that we're connected. This way, I could be able to serve you documents, the meal, as well. And if people don't have the the courtesy or whatever to send me a contact request, I just take them out of the room, because I know there's lots of people that are more than happy to get documents and essays and what have you. So that being said, I will be, as of tonight, removing all non-contacts from the rooms to make room for others. And we're at a point now where I'm going to have to set up a third room anyway. Anyone that is in both rooms, you're in both rooms because you're experienced. For the new people that are in these rooms, so that's the biggest help I can have, because I can trust you guys to keep the right energy, to keep the right truth going, where you know what's going on, and you'll help shut garbage down before I have to. And the joy of the rooms is not much of the garbage shows up anymore. There's still the occasional relic of legal mentality that shows up, but that's to be expected. That's I don't expect anyone to overnight get the whole notion. That's my wish, that the whole legal thing is nonsense. It takes a bit of getting that out of your system, because that's a lot of belief that was built into you. It's not knowing, it's beliefs that were built into you. Borean, you're back.
Am I back in?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure where I got off, but yeah, folks. Just, man, we need to go back to being little kids again, and it really is just that simple. That's what it comes down to, at least for me. And going back to that mentality of everything is perfect, because it is, and shit, I can't stress that enough, man.
True. And he just got dropped again. Oh man! And Randy, thank you. That was perfect. You nailed the moment that needed to be nailed here. I was waiting for him to call back in again. Oh, we got Mike calling in, and Lotus Flower as well.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Just tuned in, and just kind of what Borean was saying. When people hear this word, everything's perfect, they're like, what do you mean? Things are out of order. I was sharing this earlier today. It's how we interact to relate. Everything can stay the same. The buildings and all of that. If we change our mind and how we interact with each other, everything changes just from that alone. So in that regard, everything's perfect. The only thing that might not be perfect, so to say, is us still in a polarized, dualistic mindset. That's the only part that we're kind of still trapped in. Everything else is the same. Nothing needs to change except our mindset, so to say. We don't buy the crap anymore.
I totally agree. Mindful guys who got all the mics open that had their hands up, mute out or keep it real quiet behind you. There's some tapping and stuff going on there.
When we say, like, what needs to change? Not much. Just your perspective. And that's why I feel it's so close, Kate. All these big things that people think it's got to change, got to fall, government's got to crumble, the economy's got to go to shit. I'm like, no, you just have to change your perspective and how that goes.
Well, yeah, I mean, the things that came at me today were effectively another dump of the universe dropping more shit on me. But I just looked at it and went, oh, okay, well, boy, this is going to be even bigger, I told you so, at the end of the day.
Oh,
hey, Lotus, how are you? I got your mic open.
I'm doing just fine, just fine. I just want to make sure that I'm so glad I got that notice today. I have your contact information correct for Skype. It's KATIE.RENEE.THOMPSON.
That scores a home run, baby.
All right, it shall be hit out of the ballpark today. Well, yes, this afternoon. Thank you. And for Mike, aloha, Mike. If you're
Aloha.
Yes, I have a question for you. Is there any way that I can contact you? Because I sent you a message back when we were having a discussion on the table about the DMT, but I never got a reply.
Who's this again?
This is Lotus Flower, but my Facebook name is Betty Arline.
Yeah, I got you. Beautiful.
Just accept my contact request, Betty. That'd be great. I'm gonna keep calling. I like Lotus. I like Lotus better. I do
too.
Yeah, the grass doesn't sit under my feet for any length of time, sweetness. So I'll pass the just accept the contact, and I'll just pass it over to Mike.
Yeah. I got it, Kate. I got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
And I wanted to share about that, and it's the reason I haven't responded yet, because I got a few. And there's a part of that where I'm trying to clear. There's something that's coming really clear on this, we'll call it subject for the moment.
Okay.
And I got to put that in order. So in terms of, this is the beauty of where we're at right now. And this is what Chris was sharing and a lot of us. We're transcending the need to take anything. Just as we're talking about how, and Colleen brings this up very clear in terms of having the experience without so-called doing the substance. And this is nature. This is being in nature, connecting with your core, because you can do all of this without, taking any entheogen or connecting with any entheogen to kind of give you that boost, that thrust to bring you into yourself more fully. And so what's coming even clearer is that this is happening. I'm recognizing it myself. I'm having so-called DMT trips without doing it, because I'm recognizing the spiritual nature of all. And that's what, when you do these entheogens, that's what they're kind of teaching you. These teacher plants are showing you this intimate connection that you have with nature and all. And so many of us are coming to this table. We already developed this relationship. We already have this intimate connection. And this is what needs to be recognized and kind of fostered or developed or appreciated more, developed more, so to say. And when you do that, if something extra needs to come into your hand to do, so to say, it will come magically.
Okay.
And
all right.
This is the part I am tuning in with again, and when I do it, I'll be sharing it. I'll be sharing it how it comes even clearer. And because certain things haven't come into my hand yet, and I'm like, why isn't it coming into my hand? What's the other message? So for some things, and I've been asking for a year, over a year. I went, it's time for me again. And it hasn't come, and so I have to look at this. How come it hasn't come? How am I experiencing in this in different ways? Because it's showing me if it hasn't come, it's because I don't need it.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I understand what you're saying, and I had the message and have had the message for a couple of months now, but didn't understand it. And that's when I'm walking in the grass, and there's a couple of trees that are in the playground that resonate with me so clearly, and that when I'm standing on their roots, my heartbeat just starts to pound on that area. And I sort of knew it, but I wasn't sure. So I thank you so much for that explanation, because that's my start right there.
Yeah. I've had the experience before, too, where I had this feeling like, man. And then I tuned in, and it was like, yeah, we're right here, Mike. And I was sitting next to a tree, just closed my eyes, just like you described, was feeling it. And I was just like, wow, it just opened up. I was just like, whew. Didn't have any pipe in my hand, didn't have any substance. And I was just like, wow, it's that close. This is what we're sharing, this intimate connection we have with nature. And that we, again, I'll repeat it, through these entheogens teacher plants. What we experience when we do those is we get it kind of up close and personal. And so it becomes very, real. And when we kind of come out of that experience, we're in a way searching for it again. Like, oh, I want to get back there. And I'm like, you are here. You're going to now see this come again through nature. If keep your heart open, don't get into the busyness again, which people will tend to do. They go right back into their old life and all their old habits and styles, and they're like, nothing's changed. I'm like, yeah, you didn't change. You're doing the same exact shit you were doing before and not allowing the space in your life to experience again what you did in a deep journey. Now you're going to experience in this way. And so what I'm sharing here is that as some people have this connection with, we'll call it the fairies, the elves, the imps, the spirits of the little, what do you call it, the fairies of nature, they have that kind of, with the elementals, naturally, they're just tuned into this. They get that sense, that feeling. This is what I'm tuning into again, that where nature will just, you'll be walking by a tree and all of a sudden it grabs you.
Yeah.
Like a branch reaches out and touches you and pulls you back. You're like, what just happened? That's nature. That's the intimate connection that we have showing you this. And normally we experiencing these things to, well, I need it to be on mushrooms or some other substance. I'm like, those were a reminder that this is happening always. We always are in this intimate connection with the earth, and that we can open it. We talk about meditation. We talk about other things to tune in with ourselves. The more we do that, the more we can tune in with all that is around us, whether it's a person, a place, a thing, nature. And we're starting to hear her voice, if you want to say this, louder and clearer. And we're like, why? Why is this happening? It's because our hearts are opening. Our hearts are open, and the fear is dispersing. That's more clearer to say it. The fear is leaving the building. And as this fear is, so like Elvis left the building, as this fear is leaving the building, our natural connection with the heart is growing stronger. That vibration is growing stronger as the fear leaves. And if you do any of these entheogens, DMT or anything, and you really want to go deep into it, that's what you have to get through. You have to get through your fears before you can get to your heart. So I'm like, you guys can do the substance, and I'm telling you, unless you're prepared, I'm sharing with you, unless you're prepared to face your fears, you're only going to get so far. And same thing in life. There's no difference here. It's the same world. Same thing in life. Unless you face your fears, you're only going to go so far. You're not going to truly tune back into yourself, your heart, your core. So we're getting this experience whether we do something or not. And what these plants, what these are teaching us is how in our regular life to do this, to practice this, to make this connection. Because if we always put it into the substance, we're separating again. We're separating our life and treating it as a drug. Oh, it was only this drug experience. When we recognize it as a teacher plant, as an intimate connection with nature, guiding us, it's a whole different paradigm. It's a whole new world. It's a whole different relation because there's no separation. And so with this, when we're out walking natural, without any high, so to say, this connection is here, and it's getting stronger. It's getting stronger. Why? Because all the fears that we've buried deep are surfacing. Normally, you would have to, before we would take these substances to conquer our fears, to bring these fears up, to see what was hidden, and to clear these. And I'm sharing with you now, we are all getting that experience now. That's why so much is happening now, because these fears from from ourselves, from outside, from the collective, are all rising to the surface to be released. And it is beautiful. So whether you doing it, to me, nature is always sharing with us DMT, whatever life, whatever it is we need in the moment. This goes back to what Borean's saying, everything's perfect. Kate says it so many times, everything's perfect. Mike, but we make mistakes, perfect mistakes. It's part of learning, it's part of growing.
I was just saying, it's part of learning. Every time you make one, you laugh at it and you say, okay, I see where I took the wrong path, and you keep on getting up.
They're course adjustments, that's all they are. They're contrast moments of things that you would do or wouldn't do again. And as you notice, the bigger contrast that you had early in your life, the bigger mistakes, if you want to call them that you had, are the things that you would never do again. Yet there are some people, typically cops and lawyers and judges, that just can't help themselves. They just, because that's the problem with being soulless and non-creative. They just keep running the same programs over and over. So they're not mistakes, as it were. They're deliberate repeats of the same things. Look at your life now. How big are your contrasts now? And you'd probably have to get out a micrometer screw gauge to measure the contrast now, compared to, I'd say even months ago.
Sure.
Look at years ago, and and that really is the measure. When you get that contrasting between things that you would do and wouldn't do, down to making the perfect call every time, you're in 0 point. This is why it is perfect. Learn from the contrasts and don't get caught up in the guilt of a situation. That's what the churches and schools and governments teach. They want people feeling bad, angry, guilty. I'm sorry. I got to tell you, hearing the I'm sorry, I apologize. Anytime I hear that, I'm thinking, are you that so demeaning of me that you think somehow I've judged you, that you need to say that? What you're telling me is I've judged you. And I didn't. So there's the mirror of I'm sorry to me. No, God doesn't need to apologize. One scuba buddy to another says scuba knows. It's just okay.
Okay, that's great that you just shine light on that aspect, that when people say you're sorry, you just nailed it. I didn't judge you. There's no reason to say you're sorry. That's that built-in guilt program in a way.
Yeah, it's programmed.
Because and thanks for being the mirror to go, there's no reason. I'm not. It's almost like they're contracting you in saying it. Please enter my drama and accept my apology. It's like, no, you don't even need to be sorry. What for?
Yeah, and besides, do you honestly think you can offend me? There's the measure of the ego. You want mastery of the ego, learn how to not be offended. Somebody says something to you, just look at it and yeah, whatever. Glad you feel that way. Nothing pisses off an insulter more than I don't care. It goes back to that cartoon again on the Facebook. It's perfect. Tom doesn't give a shit. And by the way, 2 things I want to bring up. Tom means twin, duality. Okay? That means that Tom is singular, right? That's where the doubting Tom asses, twin asses, the twin donkeys, the twin Pinocchio stay too long in the playgrounds. See how the stories tie together? Right? Twin asses. Isn't that interesting how that works? Thomas, doubting Thomas. And that's what we're learning to not be. Look at the word business. Biz means duality. Ness, a state of being. Why do you think courts are all about doing business? They're in the business of dividing and conquering to get a duality action happening, the right and the wrong. And that's the illusion. Truth of the matter is, if somebody were to come up and smack me, which they won't because the universe doesn't allow for that. So it's kind of redundant to say this. I didn't even know where I was going there, because it see, that's what I mean. It just nullifies everything. It's not going to happen, so I can't create it. I can't even think of it. That's the cool shit. It's like, oh, okay. Well, guess that's where the period. Yeah, the period showed up. Hey, Darren, how are you? And we got Borean back.
Love it at the finest, sister. Love it at the finest there. Because that's it. It doesn't exist. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Hey, Darren, here's a question for you. Because I already know the answer.
I know nothing. I know nothing,
right? I could say anything I wanted to you, and you could say anything you wanted to me. And guaranteed, there's nothing you could say to me that would offend me, so that I would elevate you to the level of being more powerful than me, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And that's ego mastery. As soon as you get that, your ego cannot be got.
Unless you're playing.
Well, that's different. That's fun, right? That's when you take your and your various, whatever the hell you've named your tricky little bastards, ego. We take them out for a run sometimes. You know, at the end of the day, Skivanos. Yeah, I know. Isn't it great? Let's have a beer.
Yeah. And it's okay. Just a moment. Not who I am. It clears. You command that place to clear. It's you. And the sooner you're honest with yourself in the moment, the better it feels, the quicker it feels.
Yeah, an apology is proof of ego, by the way. Absolute proof of ego.
Yeah. Like who the hell wants to give away their power like that? Who wants to make contracts like that? I'm not making contracts like that. I won't accept them. You know, some individuals will say, well, if you keep saying that to me, I may just enjoy that power.
Oh, that's where I was going with that. It's the intention behind the individual. If someone intentionally came up to smack me, I just lost it again. It's such a beautiful concept. Hang on.
You got it.
That's not going to happen, right? I can't even put it in words. But seriously, have a look at it from the mirror. If you feel the need to say sorry to somebody, it's you have this grandiose, arrogant thought that somehow, you know, you offended them or harmed them in some way. But I mean, really, who's the victim?
Yeah, they're trying to make you responsible for their emotional state, and well, I'll have none of it.
Yeah. Well, I'll just have a giggle. Janet, give us a giggle, will you?
Please.
Oh,
I'm a little late. There you go.
Okay, I'm gonna.
You guys do all this stuff.
It's like it's the Shaolin monks. Yeah, it's the Shaolin monks. They produce the perfect reflection of this truth within their martial arts. You know, the empty mind, they call it. And literally, they do things in what the body can withstand within their conscious states is incredible. The master's, 92-year-old master, he's like 4 foot, I'm shrinking, invites the biggest guy in the club to come give him a punch. He's the young wannabe master, and he obviously is caught the attention of the master, and he's the one invited to come in and give him a full-on body blow. And most people go, oh, that little guy's going to get her. Look at the size of that monster. Yet the monster's going, oh, actually, I'm aware of what the hell's going on here, and why'd he pick me? Because this is going to freaking hurt. And that little guy just looks at him and goes, hit me, Just looks at him, hit me. He doesn't say a word, he doesn't buzz, nothing. He just says, hit me. And the guy's like, oh, shit. But he knows if he doesn't, he's in trouble. He's not going to get his mastery. He's not going to be able to get teeth. So he's got to hit the little bugger. So he winds up and hits his master and instantly clutches his arm in like immense pain. 3 guys instantly jump on him and start pulling the energy out of him. They start actually physically etherically pull the energy, the forces that were involved with that punch, because he's punching as he's been taught. He's building the chi, he's capping it off in his hand, and he is striking that man with all he's got, and he's 6 foot something. That little guy is like maybe 5 foot. And he don't even flinch. He's like a wall. They call it the iron shirt.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He doesn't even flinch. He doesn't even blink. But that guy, he's got 3 other masters who know chi energy, know wu ji energy, and they pull out the forces that are involved there. No, he instructs another guy to come and kick him. The guy doesn't even get close. As soon as he intends to kick him, the energy is created, and he knows how to extend out and grab that energy and say, "Oh, no, you don't," and flips the guy in midair. Most people want to say, it's fake. It's a fake. But please.
Scuba nose.
Scuba nose, right?
Hey, Steve, he got scuba nose.
Elvis has left the building.
These are the examples of that are all around us. Every moment. The only way we separate is within ourselves. That is, the original separation is within the self. And any definition outside of the self that takes the self, from that core truth of love, it's your sign. It's your little tool to say, take a look, step back, come back into the core. Because what you're producing energetically is not the benefit you're looking for. And it'll prove itself out every time.
Hey, brother.
It feel good to bounce off the walls like a ping pong ball as you're talking about love. It shoots you in the foot. It lands in your shoulder, carries you in the hips. And if you do it really harshly, it'll land a rock in your eye, blinding you. And I know that truth. I know what I did in that moment, consciously, with full awareness of knowing better. That's all I can share in that truth and energy.
I wanted to share something before we got a half an hour until rollover. Let's get some. I think it's BTR listener 024 tonight, if memory serves, and you can call in at 661-467-2401. That's 661-467-2401. What did I? Oh yeah, yeah. As soon as you mentioned these are not the droids you're looking for. Sorry, these are the druids you're looking for. The Babylon is Fallen trifold flyer is on caveofgaia.wordpress.com. It's one page, folds into 3. Thank you, Nessa, for putting that together. And as far as I know, some people have been able to get the pictures, some people haven't. I guess it's depending upon your program. But let's just say, let me see, I'm pretty sure I still have a copy here. I have a tendency of, when I have something like that, I have a tendency of giving it away. I don't know why. It's just, here, it says, here, one second, I'm just going to see if I can get another copy. But anyway, it's caution, do not read. It will change your life, or it will change everything. And it's beautifully laid out, and it's the Babylon is Fallen essay in one trifold, one page, 8.5 by 11. Okay, it changes everything. Your mind will never be the same. And then there's on the back there's a Mark Twain picture. Now, guys, if the pictures for some reason don't show up, don't hesitate to put your own in there. Get creative with some truther stuff. That's all. Have some fun with it. But the front cover is caution: do not read this. It changes everything. Your mind will never be the same. And loved it, and just got handed another copy. So I'll go out and change the world. And someone's cracking walnuts on the other end there. Come on, guys, put the bowls down. Okay, we'll save that for at least another 15 minutes.
I thought maybe they were washing dishes. I was just going to say background noise.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I was just rolling a joint, so I don't know how noisy that is.
Grasshopper. I can hear the weed from here.
It's kind of like Brandon at Paradigm Shift is saying something like with his pens, his buttons and stuff that he gives away. It's these conversation starters. And to enter in these levels of conversation with people that a lot of times you think, nah, people ain't ready to hear this or they don't want to hear this. Give them a chance. You know, a lot of times we haven't had the practice, even ourselves here at the table, we know from our own experience to enter in this conversation with a lot of people in the past and sometimes difficult to say the least. And now what we're recognizing, it's coming easier. We're here at the Emerald Table, of course. So with others, they just haven't necessarily had that opportunity to enter in that level of conversation without any fear. Now it's here. They don't have to look over their shoulder at Big Brother, whoever. Can I say this? Am I gonna get, some repercussions from this? And now the feeling is no, and it's much easier to share this now. It's my feeling, and people are, thirsty. They're hungry. They're for truth. Before they didn't want to buy it, and we can look at people in general and say, Mike, but what about them? Man, we're putting it into groups again. Put it down to the individual. Will every individual choose this? No, maybe not. But in terms of remaining willfully ignorant, that's no longer a choice.
I
agree, Mike.
Michael. Beautiful,
yeah.
Michael.
Elvis has left the building. There is no more fear left. The fear is leaving, and people are standing in a stadium full of billions of people waiting for Elvis to come back out, and he ain't coming back out, man. He's gone. So now you have all these people. Well, what do we do now? And just like you say, Mike, if you give them a chance. Because they want to know what to do. They need to know what to do. I totally agree.
Yeah, you got to recognize when you can share with them.
Yes. Sometimes you can just ask one question and they'll say, wow, you know about that. Well, look, can we talk? And sometimes it can be something so simple. And they're just waiting for that door to open so that they can just walk in.
Yep, and it's just waiting for us to remove the separation of us and them.
Yes.
Good, bad, illusion. Right, wrong, illusion. Good, evil, illusion. It is all of one source. Yin and yang. When you go to the truth of any situation, nothing else matters. It is what it is and nothing more.
That's usually what I usually do in conversations with people is when basically most conversations turn out to be a battle of a black and a white standing point, and what I try to do is to leverage to the middle and just invite people to stop living in the opposites and join me in the middle, because there's where the rainbow is. The black is two colours and white is three overlapping and creating white, so it's all the colours anyway. So you may as well move between the two opposites as fast as you can and create some sense of balance and enjoy the fluctuations while they're there, because it's all part of the dynamics. It's realm dynamics.
Totally, and you command that space.
Realm dynamics, what are you doing here?
Yeah, you command that space the moment you recognize what is happening in front of you. The table's laid before.
Yeah. What you were just talking about with the iron shirt thing, it reminds me a bit of a story, or not a story, I've experienced it a couple of times out on the reenactment field with sword fighting, the one-on-one battles. When my opponent is quite large and twice as big and more muscular and bulky. And most people think, in all odds, the girl's going to lose, but most of the time I manage to outsmart them by staying in the zone, by creating this void around myself where I no longer had to think about the move that I made. I just had the intent and my sword would be there. And all I had to do was just watch the body language of the opponent, and I could, I'd be 3 steps ahead, and it would just flow. But if I get to my head and start thinking about it, I'd be done dinner, dog's dinner. So it's stay in the flow of the moment, and when you're in the flow, it starts to slow down a bit in the zone. Time seems to slow down. You can see a couple of steps ahead. It's hard to explain. But,
the state of harmony and grace under fire.
Yeah, grace. That is the exact word I was using this afternoon to explain it. Grace. Yeah. If you stand in grace, nothing can touch you.
And that's full acceptance through your will. Your will commands the ship. Your acceptance makes sure everything else adheres to the universal laws. Your grace delivers you to truth always, and the virtues follow.
Yeah. Don't even know rules. I don't even know.
In your service, and your service is to show all those blokes who thought the woman was going to go down that she stands tall and upright, and she goes with the flow.
Yeah. And instead of these matches that lasted like 10 minutes, it would be whack, gone. Two hits gone. No need to waste energy, because that's what nature shows me too. Get the fastest, best result with the least amount of effort, and I think that is part of the where the system can abuse us, because you can call it lazy, but you can also call it a responsible use of energy. You want to get the most out of the least effort, not out of the least creativeness, but you can, learn to master your energy. And because for me, self-mastery is what it's about. So learning to dose energy is part of that as well. That point of grace is where it automatically all clicks together. But those moments are far and few between, but they're getting more frequent. I just have to be quiet enough to recognize it as well, because not all the time I realize I'm in the zone. Sometimes I'm there. I just migrate into there organically. It's hard to know while you're in there. In hindsight, hang on, that was one of those moments.
If anybody's in any doubt as to the force that's out there and force that's around you, there's a very simple test. Just get 2 magnets, flip one over, and try and hold them together. Isn't that proof enough that there are invisible forces? Isn't that proof enough?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Let me outline that one, because this is this is where people can actually visualize this protective aura that we all have once we get into the zero position. And this is when you get into the ego mastery, it's when you cannot be offended anymore. It's anytime you feel a tinge of emotion, you become instantly and acutely aware of it, and you shut it down. Hey, wait a minute, I know what that is, right? So you know when with that tricky little Cain bastard's trying to kick the shit out of Abel again, okay? So once you get that out of the way, that is the tough part, and it's so easy to explain. And that's exactly what it is. It's a no emotion reaction response at all, which means no one can get your goat, and you ain't going to give it to anybody. Guess who the authority is now? You. You're in full control of your own ship, therefore all ships around you. So to back this, it's not a theory, the fact what Chris was just sharing there about magnets, this is if you visualize yourself as a bar magnet, vertical bar magnet. Actually, and it's more like a cross, because you got this all around you. But the divine feminine creation void core is the divine feminine negative of the purest creation order. And when you're in that position and holding that 0 point, what happens on as above will happen as below. So as within, so without. So someone coming at you with a negative intent comes against your negative pure love unconditional core. What do you think those 2 energies are going to do? And the stronger your core, the stronger the negatives get pushed away from you. It's a very simple concept. And here's the neat thing about it. When you're in your divine negative core, just like any magnet, all physical things positive come to you.
You gotta close this.
Oh, all the lines are open, guys. So just.
I'm getting ready to close. It's outside.
Oh, okay. Lotus flower.
Lotus flower, everybody.
Paul, how are you?
Actually, how's you, honey? You good?
Good. It's okay if I do a quick shout out for the CMR?
I'm on.
Okay, good. Thanks. Yeah, I told you it's our table. Okay, just a great big thanks to Paul G and the criticalmassradio.co.uk. You know the deal. If you can help, great. And that means in any way, shape, or form, intent, transferring dead fiat notes back into living spirit source. That's just how you change it with intent, right? That's the difference between having money and wanting money instead of just knowing it's a useless little tool for now. And you just transmute that energy out and then just use it for what is needed. Just one little example that came up on my computer today. I saw this page involving brand new cars, millions of them parked on runways around the world in parking lots where companies are buying up land to park these brand new vehicles that have not been sold. And when I had a look at some of these runways, it told me everything I needed to know. Well, the runways are so full of their own garbage, they got nowhere to land. And I don't know about you, but as a pilot, if I didn't have anywhere to land and I ran out of gas, that's not a good situation. Okay, that's called everything comes crashing down. And the planes of the system, that negative spiritual plane of the system, demonic, is out of gas. This is the point I'm trying to make to people. Without us, they have no gas. We are the fuel to their reality.
It's like, see the diamonds. See the diamond industry. I have got an interesting thing a couple of years ago. Like, this lad was saying basically, Africa's full of diamonds. They're like crystals. Do you know what I mean? They just grow on the ground. And he says that basically there's been certain monopolies that took over the diamond trade, right? And even the illegal diamonds. And basically they're hoarding big bags and sacks of rakes of diamonds and only filtering out so many diamonds so people think that they're rare.
There's
you know what I mean? And they're more rare. In Africa they're paying a fucking penny.
Paul, you're absolutely right. Going back to my coin and silver gold days years ago, I talked a lot with dealers, of course, all the time, and a lot of these guys were involved in gems. And one guy in particular had access to, because he'd been in the game for so long and so well known, he had revealed to me there is a warehouse in Toronto that they're literally moving diamonds around with the little mini dozers.
Yeah.
Diamonds are fucking worthless.
Yeah, it's like see the one the Queen's got. I think it's a Collins stone. See when that was found, he took it up to the main office, and the foreman looked at it and says, "That's not a diamond," and flung it out the window. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the biggest diamonds ever found. And there's thousands of them, but they didn't tell you that because it's deep dark Africa. Do you know what I mean? And look what happens in Africa. I don't like to go into that, like, because it's a shame. Do you know what I mean? Because that's dark. But you look at the diamond industry, that's what they do. Like, there's that many diamonds, and they just filter so much out, so people go, oh, look at, especially the bling industry in America. It's crazy, man.
Well,
it's crazy.
again, that again is the whole illusion of an external value. I don't care if it's diamonds, emeralds, rubies, sapphires, gold, silver, paper, fiat currency, oil, whatever people want to put a value in. That's to keep you distracted, thinking it's worth more than you, and therefore forfeiting your soul.
Exactly, trinkets.
And the arrogance thinking that all these gems and oil and stuff out of the earth have a function outside of the earth. I mean, it's in there for a reason. Leave it alone. We don't pump your blood to make you happy. That's what I don't do. You know what I mean? Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Here for a reason. Leave it there. That's
okay, guys. Hang on, Bindi. We got a lot of wind noise and we have an echo. So please mute your mics if you're not talking. Okay. What would that be?
Yeah, man, they're listening in because we're out in the diamond trade.
Oh, you know, stranger things have happened, but I was just double checking a number here to see if that was it. I've got one. Not service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number or try your call. For heaven's sake.
Does anybody know the dialect?
Okay.
There's a whole lot of laughing going on.
Yeah, here, 1 second, guys. I gotta explain this because this is one of the numbers that called in 111-111-1111. So as soon as that's the one I unmuted and muted. So interesting. Yeah. It's one of the.
That's interesting, like, isn't it? Especially with the discussing. We've got some people listening now, like.
Well, there you go.
You're doomed.
That number's around a lot.
Yeah, especially what you've been putting out there, Kate. Like, yeah, man. Quality, like.
Well, it's the pure power within.
Yeah. Hi, guys. It's scooping out.
I don't know what everyone just said, but okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to jump in there just to break this kind of weird shit. So let's calm this down. Just another quick shout out to everybody. If you want in for the rollover, the number is 661-467-2401. We're rolling over in just over 10 minutes. At that point, the live recording will finish playing, and the only way you'll hear the show is if you're called in. We have room for a few more callers. You can also call in at BTR Listener 024, or if you're listening on Blog Talk itself, just click the Skype button, follow the bouncing ball, and we'll see you on the table. Once on the table, all you got to do is hit 1 to let me know you want to talk. And there you have it.
Okay.
Okay.
So if I get busted here in Mexico, all I got to do is pay him off.
Pretty much. Just keep your negative feminine hardcore, baby, and nothing comes near you anyway. This is the thing that people let their guard down about, because it takes a bit to trust this. This is you trusting you for the first time. And I trust myself. Do you really? You might trust
anyway. Go to jail in Mexico, mate. You'll end up walking like John Wayne. Killing a whole lot of Chicanos. Do you know what I mean?
Listen. I got just very briefly. I got a tug about 4 weeks ago when I was driving in the town by a copper. He caught me just pulling my seatbelt on, and he pulled me over. And I only had like 40 pesos on me, and he was asking my name, and I don't know the language, so I says, "No, I've got no money." And he put his book in. He opened the book up. He says, "Just put some money here, no problem. No money here, ticket disappear. Money here, ticket disappear." So I put 40 pesos because it was the easiest thing to do, rather than him checking me out, and then I just drove off. Simple as that.
Oh, Mexico's the easiest place in the world to get rid of cops. All you have to have is a few pesos on you.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel a little bit spoiled being here, you know.
Yeah. And then look at the absolute proof of that's exactly what cops do anyway. The difference is these guys are cutting out the middleman.
Yeah, they're being straight. And he waved at me. The next day he saw me, he was waving at me and smiling at me. So it's all good, really, isn't it? Oh dear. Yeah.
They're actually, I think the only encounter I ever had was with a Mexican cop. Was one living here in Canada, ex-cop on a job site, part of a electrical work crew that was smashing a ceiling onto a brand new, just finished ash hardwood floor that I had spent a week installing, and just had the entire floor stained and sealed. And these guys are in there smacking plaster. I'm not talking drywall. I'm talking plaster onto the floor. And I went in to I said, "Hey, what are you guys doing here? This is, work boots. No, you got no tarps down, nothing." I said, "Get the fuck out of here," right? And so I cleaned up the chunks that they'd already done. They did a bit of damage. I had to get the guy back to do a bit of resurfacing on it. But I went outside, and there's name was Jose. That's his real name, and his buddy. This Jose guy real stocky Mexican guy, right? You'd think of your typical uniform Mexican cop, and there you have it. Yeah. And he comes up to me and he says, people talk to me like that. I usually punch them out. And I said, oh yeah, really? Click. Called the owner of the property, who was actually a property management company. And this is a friend. These are part of the circles that I worked in. I didn't play with the small leagues. And anyway, this particular team, husband and wife, whatever, she ran the property stuff, large property firm, and it was her son's place. And these guys were constantly contracted by the same management company. So I said, no problem, Jose. So I picked up the phone, and I said, I called her direct to her office, and I said, yeah, one of your electrician guys here thought it was a really good idea to start smashing up the plaster on the brand new floor I just had finished for your kid. And he just threatened to punch me, and I want this guy off my site, and I don't want him back. Oh, here. I handed Jose the phone. Yeah, she wants to talk to you. You want to see a big Mexican supposed fucking cop back down real quick, and then you seen the tools all get packed up. Well, I cleaned up, and they sent another crew in a few hours later. I said, I want him back on this site ever again. I want to see that fucker's face. So there you go. There's my interaction with it. So, yeah, you're right, Chris. They're easy to deal with.
So that kind of makes me feel a little bit guilty in a way. And I don't know why, because it's like I've been going back so many steps, and like now I've jumped quite a few forward by intent to be here, a year and a half of intent and working towards it. In fact, I had a bet with a friend of mine about intent and about actually making things happen. And this is the guy I told you about, Andy. He's very much on the fence about everything. And I said, I'm going to prove it to you. I said this about a year and a half ago. I said, what are you going to prove to me? I said, I'm going to prove to you how I can shape my future, and I'm going to show you what I can do. And I planned this all out, and here I'm in Mexico, and I Skype him, and I said, what did I tell you that I was going to do? And he wouldn't admit it. He sort of laughs it off, So I said to him, what did I tell you that I was going to do? Did I not tell you I was going to do this? And did I not tell you before I did it that I was going to do it? And still he wasn't convinced. So what can you do?
Well, here's the bottom line. That is a thief in uniform doing what thieves do. So what you were doing was granting the wish that he wanted to be a thief and go even deeper down, and that's okay.
That's okay, brother.
Yeah. Because it's a good friend, and I just want him. He's well into all the stuff we talk about, but it's just a shame that he's not got it on the internal level. He's not gone inside. That's the thing. I keep telling him everything you're looking for is within you, literally within you, in your body, your pineal gland, pituitary body, your pia mater, your cerebellum. The milk and honey, the land of milk and honey. It says it in the fucking Bible. And these two fluids come down your spinal cord. It's in Sonti's anatomy. Hello, ding, 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 ding. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well. So it's nice to hear other people that are on the same wavelength and know about things like that, and I can talk to, but most of the time I'm surrounded by people who are still living in the material, fictional world, even as living in paradise, so-called paradise. It's only a slice, it's a nice beach, but there's still people here who live like that, and I constantly have little arguments with them, and I rub them up the wrong way. Oh, you think you know it all, you think you know it all. I said, no, I do know something if you're willing to listen. If you think you're so spiritual, tell me then. But then they end up arguing and running away.
So let's bring it home, Chris.
Yeah.
When you were earlier speaking about it, how did it feel? From this end, it didn't feel all that great.
No. Sometimes it doesn't feel great.
Okay. Let's not give it an excuse. Now let's look at it for what it is. It's an emotion, is it not?
Yeah.
And where does it stem from?
My ego, my Aries ego. Yeah, mine needs to be. Who just set off the horn then? I just heard a car horn.
No, that was somebody dragging a chair across the floor. Okay, guys, mute out. And I just brought someone in with me because we're running close to the wire here. Anyone that comes in with me, Yeah, it's all good. Anyone comes in with me, please mute your mic because I can't control any muting when someone is in the call with me. The only way I can control it is to go, excuse me, hang up. Okay, so there you go. Just a little heads up for everybody. Thank you. 2 minutes to roll over. So again, we got room for a few more. Not many, but a few.
Hey, Darren.
Yeah, some interesting background noises this morning, Kay.
Yeah. I think someone's sanding wood, and now they're making tea.
Oh, we had someone dropped their pot container. I heard the lid rattle, and someone apparently is writing a book right now.
I think it's time to have a few laughs, okay? I think it's time to really just release a little bit. We need to take 3 deep breaths, everybody. 3 nice deep breaths. Let's do it together. 3 nice, long, deep breaths. Hold it in and exhale. Let it all out. Let it all out. Get it all out your lungs. Inhale. One more time. One more. All together. One more time. In. And out. There we go.
I feel better.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey, Randy.
Good morning, Kate. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. I've always wanted to feel better, but they'd never let me.
Bob, tag you in.
Tag you in, Randy.
Oh, wait, I'm waiting for the toilet to flush. Just give me a second, guys. Just hang on. Background noise. I'm waiting for the toilet flush or something. I mean, there's a great plot going on behind the scenes here.
Listen, Kate, I'm totally suspicious of you now. I do believe you've got a sound effects equipment there, and you're pulling our bunker.
I wish. I honestly do.
I wish
there it is.
Well.
That is a marine toilet.
There we go. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. I hope.
No worries.
Oh, does that mean Maritime Law has gone down the drain? Oh.
Oh, good one. I need to grab on the now. Yeah, and there's a great post, Billy. Thank you so much for this. Was it? What was the name of Billy? She put the to the north in was it Billie Holiday?
What did you ask? You broke up there, Kate.
Yeah, I couldn't hear.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who the Good Witch of the North was. It Billie Holiday? Stop dragging the coffin across the floor. Just put the body in, nail it shut, and throw it in the fucking ocean. There we go.
I think it was Diana Ross.
What's that?
I think it was Diana Ross.
Oh, no, I'm talking 1939. She was still a twinkle in her mommy and daddy's eye at that point. 1939, Billy, I don't know, I'll just Google it.
Billy.
I thought it was Holiday.
No.
Anyway, just the point being.
Are you saying the Good Witch or the Wicked Witch?
The Good Witch.
Okay, Good Witch. I have it up here. Man. That's Glinda, right? Billy Burke.
Billy Burke. Thank you, Billy Burke. Yes. Yeah. Anyway,
Billie Holiday's soulful singer.
The soul singer. Yes, that's why that name sticks in my head because beautiful voice on her. That's okay. Yeah. Now this is one from Billy Schufert, who happens to be named after Glinda. That's why I was trying to remember it. If you can't defeat the legal system inside the legal system, how can you defeat the school system? Well, it's really easy. Now you have a beautiful little three-fold single 8.5 by 11 printout. You got to do both sides, but you've got a printout now, a trifold that you can. And I got to tell you, these are slicker and shit. I mean, Nessa did an amazing job with them. Looks like something that comes right out of the print shop, baby. And I'm talking. I haven't seen a trifold done this perfect in a long time, and I know how much work these take. They're a pain in the ass. That pain in the ass has been solved for you by NASA, so I would greatly appreciate you guys if you can, even if you printed up, say I'd say 100 or whatever. But if you printed up even 10 or 20 of these things, just around your schools, and just throw them up on the bulletin boards or throw them in at the office. It doesn't matter wherever they're gonna be seen. I really have to put together a notice. You gotta remember, I worked inside a school system for 11 years as a private contractor, so I got to meet all levels. From the janitorial staff, the teachers, the principals, the corporate downtowners, right up to the head of education in the region. So I got to talk from the very top to the very bottom in their caste system, right? So I know what the programs are like running in teachers, because I'll tell you, I was there for 11 years, and the first year I was involved, about 20% of them were just there for the holidays and the money. 80% of them were genuines. And over the course of that 11 years, teachers, were retiring and whatever. And by the time I was done there, it was a complete different ratio. 80% of the teachers were there for the holidays and the money, and 20% actually cared about what was going on. And that is an incredible, and I didn't realize the magnitude of it in terms of what we're talking about now then, but I can look back at that contrast now and see the power of the system getting a grip on people. What you're dealing with are educated fools, for the most part. You're dealing with people like doctors and lawyers that have an elevated level of self-importance. Well, I'm a doctor, and I'm a teacher, and I'm a lawyer, and I'm this. All of the title bullshit that goes along with it, which makes them think that they are somehow better than the average individual, just because they went to school longer. I've mentioned many times on the shows that a couple of professors that I through music got to socialize with. One of them in particular was actually really cool because he lived in the real world for many years and had decided to go into teaching in university as a professor. I forget what it was along the creative writing stuff. He was quite a brilliant songwriter and just a really cool guy all around, and the kind of guy that you'd want teaching, because he was a bit of a radical, even in terms for me talking. But the other one, he had been tenured, and this guy was such a child in so many ways mentally, where he had never left school his entire life. And I saw this play out in both these two different characters in their writing styles and writing abilities, and not only that, their performing skills. And in as much as the stage was equal for everyone, there are definitely things that would shine brighter than others because they were meant to. They were more refined to. And this older individual who ended up retiring with full tenureship. That's a lot of money, by the way, guys. Tenureship means that you get a guaranteed job no matter how bad you fuck up. Okay, that's dangerous. That's like hiring a professional, like any of the professional sports team members, right? As soon as they get the big contracts, what happens to performance? You want to see great hockey, football, or soccer, any of these things? Go to the levels below the professional, and you'll see people actually playing the game because they love it. Okay, but anyway, this guy was in terms of social interaction was socially inept. Could only operate within a system mandate. Actually, I was the first one to ever give him legs to get up on a stage, to have the confidence to do so, and spent many years working with this guy and helping, where it gave him, for the first time in his life, a higher profile within the community, musically, artistically, or whatever, only to have the same individual just before I left Manhattan's. I decided to take a break and asked him, could you look after it, host it for a couple of weeks? I just need a couple of weeks off. And no sooner did I ask him, he says, yeah, okay. That I get word back the next day that he's in the back room having a chat with Tom, the owner, about how they're going to reform the Songwriter Cafe, and they're going to do this and going to do that. And it's like, and the next time that I saw this guy, Couldn't look me in the face. So there's your system for you. The system breeds thieves, liars, and fucking crooks. That's what the system does. And we wonder why our society is screwed up. So the best thing we can start doing is exactly what Wayne and his daughter did. I did this myself, not in the same way, obviously, of course. If I had known then, I did share a lot of the stuff that I was starting to uncover because I was already in the movement when I was dealing with my daughter's primary school. But I'll tell you, the principal there, when I went in to tear an intellectual strip out of one of the racist, bigoted teachers there, I went in to have just to drop off a letter to him, a copy that I was given to the teacher, and one that I gave to my daughter to give to the teacher, and I was just right there to drop it off. And no sooner did I get in the office, and I said, "Yeah, this is for so and so," and he heard my voice and said, "Oh no, come in here! I want to talk to you. And I had a great conversation with him, and I said, "Well, this is a letter I'm giving. My daughter is giving the teacher today that I wrote." And he already knew that I don't take shit from anybody, and I'm always gentle and fair and kind about it. It's just no bullshit. That's just how I deal. And I remember him reading it, and he got about a paragraph. It wasn't that long. It was 3-4 paragraphs. And he got through I think the first or second paragraph, and he just, you're looking at, say you're standing looking at someone reading something, and he just turned and he looked at me, and he had that holy fuck look in his eyes, right? And he says, "Well, you certainly write better than I do." And I just said to him, "Well, I hope I'm at least decent. That's what I kind of do for my life source purpose," right? He said, "No, this is exactly what I'd love to be able to say, but I can't because of my position here. Because, the principals and vice principals and office staff are different unions and teachers. That's to keep them divided and conquered, right? So that one can't say anything to the other. This system is perfectly designed to keep everybody divided and conquered, and no one able to say a word to anyone. And of course, you must be politically correct." Well, excuse me. There was another post on my page today. I'm going to see if I can find it because it was so beautiful. But I'll tell you right now, you want to nip this puppy in the bud. You start it. You get it in the schools, and I honestly, at less than 8 years old, white. Yes, you can have a kids' night anytime you want here at this table. Really. I'm just scrolling down for this. As soon as I find it, you'll understand why. About this whole politically correct thing. Because I am so done with politically correct. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll support the kids' table, and anybody interrupts that and you want to hear me bark, you'll get it.
You got it, Because there are a few things that I keep centered on, and when things touch so close to that center, that's where I don't have a choice but to pour it forth, and that's where I know how to check my own center. And when I get hit that softly, that gently, with the impact of an asteroid, that's all I need to let me know that, yeah, okay, I'm doing it this is why I'm doing it, and now I can feel why I'm doing it. Because a lot of times I have to put, not a lot of times, I put everything on the shelf in order to punch through this, because you're not going to solve anything with any form of emotion at all. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. It can't happen, because emotion is the one thing that stops you. E-mote-ion, no mote-ion, no causability. That's what emotion is saying, no causability. So please, by all means, if you want to remain at effect constantly, be emotional. And that's all this planet teaches people, is how to be emotional, how to stay emotional, how to get emotional, and look at all of the things that the system puts around us to keep us in one state of frenzy or another, be it a Walmart stampede for people killing each other by stamping all over, people they don't even know, that all the way to sports stadiums. I mean, they've got the Roman Colosseums everywhere. So here's what the post on my page was. I'll share it. Politically correct, a term used for whiny, overly sensitive pansies who need everything sugar-coated for them. that works for me. So I'm going to share that. You know, so let's, guys, I mean, really, if you can't do it for you, for Christ's sake, do it for the kids. Because I'll tell you this right now, the kids will do it for you in a heartbeat. And they won't even think about it. Because there is no thinking required when the heart's involved.
I'm bored. I want to go play.
There you go. And like Tom says, everybody just wants to be liked and accepted, all the kids on the shore. And except for Tom. Tom doesn't give a shit as he flips them the bird as he flies away. I don't need to be accepted by anybody. I don't need to be liked. I've certainly made the point of that. I've given lots of people tons of reasons to hate my guts. I don't care what it takes to wake you up. But I promise you this. If I've got big enough pumps on, I'll kick the living shit into you. Or kick the living life out of you. Or the death, rather, out of you.
Yeah, Richie would love that post. It's got red balloons.
Yes, I know, eh?
I thought of him.
Yeah, but there isn't 99 of them.
Yeah. No, not 99.
Bizarre, eh? Oh, did we lose? I was checking the phones here. I think we might have lost Borean. Did we lose Borean again? Oh, for crying out loud, I'll bring him in. Where are we? Go ahead. Somebody just open their mic. Talk away. I'm just looking for Borean.
Think about it as the ultimate upgrade. That's how I look at it. You're just upgrading yourself. You're a computer, but your computer happens to be the most powerful fucking computer that ever was, and you're getting an upgrade. It's been blocked for a while, and it's time to sweep away that shit, stick your head in, get plugged in, and start playing the real game.
Yeah, it's like this. System says to you, really, if you're a quantum computer of creation, and it seems to work for everything. Hey, I'll tell you what. I've got this really cool computer. Let's trade. And us in our ignorance and innocence, okay, well, no one would ever screw with us because we're compassionate, loving, and that's what happened. We ended up with a Commodore 64 with no fucking cables.
Or you've had you've had the biggest bug or virus ever, and you've now found the way to kill that virus. And so therefore, what happens when you kill the virus? Hello?
Yep. You guys get the Trojan horse.
Yeah, well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm way too busy to think anymore. I'm just so busy enjoying my heaven on earth.
Yeah.
My own paradise.
I agree, and I'm living my heaven on earth as well. But by the same time, I still feel that I have things that I have to do, and one of those things is being there for people as a portal, basically. I don't want to throw it down people's throats, but I drop little hints here and there, drop some letters, and then if they come talking to me, then that's brilliant, because then I will sit down and I'll say, read this, then come back and chat. I'll do exactly what Kate does, because that works. And plus, with all the rest of my knowledge in the DMT is just a side thing. It's not the main thing. It's just one of many, many things. But it's all there. And it's just you have to give. You shall give. You shall receive as you. Oh, Chris. Hi, Chris.
What's your name?
Chris.
Hi, Chris. It's Bob in the Whitsundays.
Hi, Bob.
I find that in my own life as well. My friend is that just because I'm not sounding arrogant, but just because I'm shining my light, people are drawn to it, and then I get engaged in conversations and start sharing, just my own journey, and with the people it resonates, they go away with that seed sown. So, I agree with your posture.
You're lucky to even just have something to listen to you. Sorry, carry on.
One sec, both guys. One sec. Just keep in mind, There is a slight delay with Bob because he's in Australia and you're in Mexico, Chris. So that's why I tell people leave some breathing room between, and that way, because we run into this quite regularly, and it just turns into garbled nonsense.
No problem. Carry on, Bob.
Yeah. Thank you. That's why I love the talking stick process, because that really sort of smooths everything out. But yeah, just from my own position where I am now in my life, it's just through simply being who I am, and the people I meet, they are either drawn towards me just from the energy I radiate, or they move away. And those that are drawn will sit down and share the talking, yeah, that's all I can do, is share my truth, share my story. I do not know their truth until they share theirs. It's just getting them to realise that, what is, a lot of people look at me blank faced, like, what is my truth? Don't know, but once they've got this idea that, hey, I've got to have a truth somewhere, they go off looking for it, and that's enough for me. That's enough for me. They've opened that little door and they'll never close it again. So, the door to the journey in search of themselves, and it's so beautiful, so beautiful. And I'll put the talking stick down now. I have a cigarette.
Well said. Absolutely well said. Well, picture this then, Bob. Let me paint a little picture for you. I'm in a place where there's a lot of expats.
Oh, I love pictures.
A lot of expats, mainly Canadians, and all North American Canadians and from the States. Very few Brits here, so I stand out slightly with the accent. But I deal with a lot of very large egos here. There's a very lot of creative people here, artists, musicians, and they're so, you drop something in there and they look at you. No, man, I've done that. I did acid in the 60s, man. No. And they're so lost. And so I gave up speaking to them, because if I keep talking to them the way I'm talking to other people, they're just going to look at me and go, man, I don't want to spend time with you. I don't want that, because it's a community, so I have to fit in, and I'm still trying to fit in. I've got to learn Spanish. The locals are telling me, Chris, you need to learn some Spanish, and it's quite easy, but I'm just lazy. I'm being honest, I'm lazy. I'm too busy doing other things to learn a language. So what's happened with Kate, my interaction with Kate, the great thing there is that the letters now, you see, with me going through them, the writing, that's given me like a little doorway. It's just opened up another door for me, another portal for me to express my interpretation of what it's all about, because all I can do is my interpretation. And so that's been really a blessing as well. And hello?
Hello, we're here.
We're here, we're listening.
You're
going. You're good.
That's been a great blessing to me, because, as I said before, I came here not for DMT. I came here to get away from the rat race. 25 years in London. I was in it. I was the Aries, arrogant. I mean, the fights that I had with people, sitting in traffic jams. You know how it works. So I finally made the step out. And the DMT was a bit of a blessing, cherry on top, so to speak. And then meeting Kate and doing that was like a double cherry, and now I've got some kind of direction, so I know now what I have to do, because it's all very well sitting here and being on the beach and drinking beer, but, you can only do that for so long. Less is more. My rule is less is more. It's like drugs, alcohol, sex, everything. The golden rule is less is more. The less you have, the more you get from it when you have it that time. That's the whole point of it. It's not to do it relentlessly. You see, that's where the addicts come in, but that's the power of the mind, and that's with an Aries mind. That's why I've always been strongly able to deal with all of it. I mean, I did 26 bottles and 23 bottles of vodka in 26 days 2 years ago when I was in Mexico. I came here to drink myself to death. That's how desperate I was. That didn't work. Went back to the UK. Something happened, blah, blah, blah. Here I am in Mexico. And now I laugh at everything. I look back at it and I just laugh at it and think, oh my God, what a dick you were. Oh, you did. Oh my God, now you know. Oh, okay. And you just have to be honest with yourself and admit to yourself, yeah, I did terrible things, you know. But as somebody else once said, they're not so terrible because they got you here. You're here because of them, because of your mistakes. You still suffer. You know, nobody's going to get to where they got to go to without going through the pain barrier. Pain is love. Love is pain. It's exactly the same. You have to experience both, or you will experience both eventually. That's all I'm going to say. Passing it over now. Love all of you.
Well said, Chris.
Yeah, well, thanks, Chris. That was very, very resonant, my friend, because, you know, for me, I'm just looking at the level of joy and bliss in my life as recompense for all the pain, torture, and despair that I suffered during the first 40 years of my life. And it wasn't until I actually embarked on the journey to find me, and actually did find me, that I turned it around. So now, you know, I'm enjoying where I'm at, and I know I deserve it because I've created it. I've manifested this, and with my local community, I know who I am. And for me, what other people think of me is none of my bloody business. So I don't try to fit in. I just share who I am, and people that resonate with that will come to me, and people that don't resonate with that will move away. And so, it is a small community up here, and 90% of them think I'm weird, and I take that as a badge of honor.
You do. Yeah. Hey, I'm not the craziest doctor here. I love it. They think I'm completely bonkers, and the more bonkers they think I am, the saner I feel. It's a bizarre feeling, you know. I take great pride now in being crazy, you know. And I think, yeah, if only you knew. But then there's the ego sneaking in the back door, and I go, oh, get that into check as well, because I still have to fight with that every day. And I'm sure a lot of people do if they're really honest with themselves, you know. But it's that recognition of it. It's that stepping away. It's that, who is that I and I am, you know. You have to step back and look, go, there is that emotion again. There's that person again. Just check it. Don't beat yourself up because you fell into the trap again. That's because then it will repeat itself and carry on and carry on. The thing to do is recognize it and just put it aside. It's just a thought in the head. Push it to the side. Let it go. Let it go. You've no idea how I've been able to let pain go and let fear go. It's like I'm astounded myself, you know. So it's there for everybody. Every single person can reach it, but it will happen to you when it's ready to happen to you. You cannot force it. You cannot force it on anybody. You can't tell anybody. We can talk about it. We can tell the stories and stuff, which is great, but only as a person. Like I said before to Kate, everybody's looking for something that nothing and nobody can give them. Okay? Always think that. Nobody outside, nothing out there will give you what you want, what you're seeking. It's already contained within you. Literally contained within you. You are the living body.
In response to that, Chris, I'd just like to give you my take on that. Mm-hmm. There was somebody made a phrase during the show about trusting in oneself and knowing oneself. And I totally, completely, and utterly trust in my heart, in my inner knowing, in my intuition, and you know, I've demonstrated that. Well, my life is a demonstration of that trust that I have in me, and I use pictures a lot, and I've shared the picture many a time about the big red switch that controls my left brain, and the big red switch is off, and it's been off for months and months and months, because I've developed this sense that I call noticing, and it's like I am living in a webcam that's looking down on me, and I'm just noticing how I interact in life. Yeah. And through that process of noticing, you know, I notice events that transpire and interactions and stuff, but it puts me in a posture where I just consciously choose to either engage or not engage. So my state of noticing is, I suppose, where I live. Yeah, it's.
Whereabouts do you live?
Yeah, it's. I live on a boat in Pioneer Bay, on the eastern seaboard of Queensland, Australia. My biggest neighbour my nearest neighbour is the Great Barrier Reef.
Oh.
So, if you want to check me out on Google, I'm about 20 degrees south.
Wow.
And 148 degrees east. Whatever that, I've got no money for the sky I know. Oh, music. Boogie on down. Boogie down. Boogie on.
That was a great track, by the way.
Whoa.
Yeah, looks like Paul's up. Paul's up to his tricks again, answering the phone whenever somebody calls during the show and he's on it. Paul, stop doing that.
Yes. So Chris, it's a beautiful spot, and what I really appreciate about it, because I was in big business. I worked for Exxon, the biggest employer in the world at the time. I was a project engineer at their research facility. So I've been into that place, where and looking back, I really enjoyed it because it was an exercise for my intellect, and it's given me a measure of just how amazing my intellect is. But I know now that, my intelligence, my intellect, my left brain is just a tool that I use when I use. And, and I honor it. And, I know how magnificent it is. But it is not me. It's just a little bit of me that I'll use if I ever need to again. And the way I'm feeling at the moment, I don't need to, because I live a life where I don't plan anything. Something pops into my knowing, and I just go do it. Whether it's 3 o'clock in the morning or whenever. I have no plans. I just bounce from moment to moment. My days are butterfly days. I'm in the supermarket and I burst out into spontaneous laughter, and everybody around me looks at me like I'm a loony. But hey, man, I'm living the bliss. Listen,
I hear you, because I do exactly the same. I do it on the Ponga, the boat going across. I'll start talking to myself, and I'll turn around. There's all these Mexicans looking at me like, "What the fuck?" Oh, it's okay. And in the supermarket, like you say,
what I have noticed,
you can just think of something.
Yeah, what I have noticed,
without laughing. Sorry.
Yeah. What I have noticed is that as a sovereign, my wants and needs are my responsibility totally. It's my job, and I'm pretty good at it. I'm really, well, the way I live is proof of that. And what I have noticed is that whatever I need next for my own development or the information is drawn to me. It presents myself. I trip over it, and if I don't trip over it, it smacks me on the back of the head. So I don't have to physically put out any effort there, because I've already set my life intention. My life intention is I am here to have a gentle, loving, joyful, and abundant life. And that's all I've had to do. Just set my personal intention for my life, and my life is manifesting in alignment with that. I don't have to dig the ditches anymore, because the universe is just responding to my command. I have commanded it to. That's what my life's going to be like. Go away, do it, and she's doing a grand job. Yeah. And also, I'd like to say that creation is a brilliant engineer. She is a fabulous engineer. She's given us all 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, and 1 mouth. And I really appreciate those proportions.
I would add to that and say you've got an extra eye. You have your 3rd eye. You're truly your 3rd eye, which is actually a really. Do you know you've actually got 2? You've actually got 2 olives in your brain, infinitesimal, but they're olive shaped, and they're the 2. They're the 2 fountains that secrete the fluid, which comes from pia mater, which is the claustrum, or the cerebellum. Is it cerebellum or claustrum? And that produces the flow constantly. Now, if you've read God Man, the Word Made Flesh, and you'll notice how it all relates, to the wording as well. Because it's so connected, we know that. But I love the fact that in your actual body, they've cut a brain open, the pineal gland is there, pituitary body. That's the Joseph and Mary. So when the oil is being saved, i.e., you're not ejaculating every 5 minutes and giving it all away. If you save that oil, and every month, when the moon is in your sign, and you abstain for 2.5 days and save that seed, because a psychophysical seed is born in your solar plexus every month. You save that seed. It takes about 37 months, 4 years, because every leap year, then the 37th seed. Then if you've done that from the age of 12, and you've not drunk and had sex and that, you will obviously ascend, because you will obviously light up your pineal gland, because that's the whole process. Now the DMT comes into it because I feel now it's come into to the fore because people need extra help because of the conditioning, which has been so hard that some people need help if it calls them. So it's positive and it's negative. It's not for everybody, but it's for a lot of people. So it's all good. It's all good, And I'd love to come to the Barrier Reef. I mean, that's one of the places I'd love to see.
Yeah, well, please come over. You're more than welcome. And Chris, thank you for sharing your truth, and I'm glad that it works for you. My posture on that is I totally let go of the need to understand anything. It's made my life so much simpler. So, but you're welcome to come cruise in the Whitsunday Islands with me, brother.
Well, you never know. I don't make any plans ahead. I just take each day as it comes. But I've set my intention, so we'll see what happens. Maybe Kate will be along as well, and a few from the table. We can all go fishing or something. I don't know, or snorkeling.
As soon as all the walls are down. Go ahead.
If you're going to set an intention, July's a good time. July's a good time to be up here because all the whales come up here for 3 or 4 months to give birth, and just on an energetic level, it is just amazing, the life force energy up here. And then the reef spawns as well. The biggest living organism on the planet is giving birth, and on an energetic level, it's as I say, words can't describe the energy up here during those times. It's just amazing, really amazing. So July to November is brilliant up here.
Isn't that funny you said that? The whales are up there. The whales have just left here, the Bay Banderas. They come here November to January, February, the humpback whale. And they've just left last month or a month or so ago. So they come here to have, and they're up Europe. See the beauty of it. They've left here, come there. Not the same whales, obviously, but, because all to do with the climate and to do with the cycle of life, and it's just a cycle. There's no beginning, there's no end. There is no beginning, no end. Everything just keeps rolling over and over. When that big penny dropped for me with the DMT, when I was shown that with the 5 meal, and I burst out laughing, it was like, oh my God, that's the joke. There is no end. There is no end. Well, there is now, because I'm probably going to go now, and I need to go and feed the cats and get something to eat, and it's getting a bit dark here now, so I'm going to check out, guys. I'm going to wish you all the best, and hopefully we can have a chat soon, some other time. And if anybody wants to email me or anything or whatever, you're always welcome. Everybody is welcome.
Well, and for that, Chris, thank you very much as well. We've only got a little over 20 minutes left till we're done here. Anyway, I wanted to share another post as well that Lynn had shared earlier today regarding a very, very beautiful ability that we all have and that we all possess: bitchcraft, the art of pissing people off by telling them the truth. So thank you for that, Lynn. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. That was excellent. I really liked that.
Yeah, it's yeah. There you are.
A little occupied, and sometimes the noise is real sharp. So
I know the kids go crazy. It's all good.
Yeah. I my niece posted that to me. It's kind of funny because I was telling her and her aunt a few days back how
when it comes to the tarot, I kind of make up my own rules. And she's like, well, I wish we all could do that. I said, well, you know what? You can. That's what they don't want you to know. And, you know, they do it to us all the time, change the rules all the time. So here we are. We make our own rules. Anyhow, it was fun. I think she understands now. So.
Oh, very good. Another little update. Another update on Karen the Hoods. Here's a thanks, Ryan. This is a beautiful post. Very early today, but that's why I'm just going through just to make sure I cover all of these amazing things that get shared. This one's regarding Karen the Hoods. Get paid to share World Bank whistleblower Karen Hood's YouTube videos online to expose the corruption with Buzz Tracker. You know, so here, you want to talk about a desperate system? Listen, we'll pay you to screw yourselves on YouTube. Come and do it. So it's beyond mind-boggling at how desperate these idiots are to try to dispel the truth. You can't. The truth's out of the bag, baby. The cat's out of the bag, and she's got fangs. I'm sitting right here. You want to play? Let's go dancing. You keep your heels off. Don't worry. You can wear whatever you want, because I am going to shred you. That's the bottom line. So, yeah, I just thought it was really funny, actually. What did I write? Oh, yeah, get paid like all the other shills do to keep the distractions alive, LOL, which I find very, very comical, you know? Anyway, just wanted to share that. Anywhere else you guys want to roll off into, or what do you want to do? But not all at once like you just did there? Okay. Yeah, I'm still on the air.
Too funny.
I'm still on the air. Yes,
so
I am. There.
Rare. That's so rare. When does that happen?
It usually happens when I want people to talk, right? It's like, well, I want to talk anyway, and when I don't want them to talk, I can't shut them up. It's kind of awesome. You know, mirror.
Way to go. That was priceless. I was just enjoying listening. You know how I love to listen. I just listen. Yeah, it's a gorgeous day though.
Oh yeah, it's always, always gorgeous.
Well, it's magnificent, absolutely magnificent.
I took a nap.
Yeah, that silence happened yesterday. Oh.
I had the pleasure, guys.
It was like panic.
Oh, it's both. Such a beautiful day. I had the experience of taking a nap under a banyan tree again, about 20 feet from the ocean, this huge banyan tree in town, and all these kids were playing around me, and I just went over on the mat that they have for babies and mothers and just laid down, and this beautiful banyan tree just spread out over me and just brought me I don't know where I went. I closed my eyes for a while, and I came back just feeling in tune. And this is something that I went, wow, I haven't had a nap under a banyan tree in maybe 10 years. That's how, wow, I don't know, really connecting me to home again, I'm feeling.
Yeah, that grace and ease, eh? It's a beautiful time.
Yeah, those experiences for me have just been, I don't know, mind-blowing. The first one I had, I thought I was losing the plot because my dad committed himself to a mental institution when I was about 7 or 8 years old, so my first experience was I just finished playing at 2J Festival, and it had been a tumultuous weekend, and I could barely speak, and I was absolutely rooted. And I just went, and the moon was up, it was a full moon, and I just went on a camp, I just went and
there you go.
Music
that was Darren. That was Darren. That was Darren this time.
So, I'm feeling emotionally absolutely drained because it was such a joyous weekend, and that's for me is the power of folk music and that genre. And I just staggered over to this big old tree and just sat down with my back against the tree and my legs in a line with the big roots reaching out, and just laid back, and as if I was sinking into the tree, and I had this feeling of it wrapping its branches around me. And yeah, that's been the first of many experiences of reconnecting. So it's kind of comforting for me to hear other people sharing similar experiences. You know, it's like, I'm not losing the plot. Not that I wanted the plot in the first place anyway, but yeah, thank you, brothers. It's nice to know I'm not alone.
Yeah, all good. Well, listen, I think I'm going to. We got another 15 minutes or so. I think I'm just going to roll out tonight because I want to make sure this energy stays where it is. The focus is on the kids. That's the long and short of it for me. And that little piece that Wayne was able to share with all of us, him and his daughter, is one of the most precious pieces that I've ever had the joy of orchestrating musically on the air. So I think I just want to, as a final note on all of this, if you can't do it for you, and if you can't do it for your own kids, do it for everyone else's, because they're yours too. And this is a part that we have to get back to understand that we are one. And I know what it feels like to have that one ripped from you. And I also know what it feels like to have that one returned in a different form. As blissful as it is excruciatingly painful at the same time. It's a very neutral, very balancing energy, and it's a pretty rough ride for a few seconds until you adjust it. I've just gotten a little bit more adept at being able to spot stuff quickly within myself, and it's only because I know where the emotions are, and I will only use the ones that are of benevolent intent. That's the long and short of it with me. We've got a lot of demonic criminal elements, dark principalities getting destroyed across this planet right now, across this universe. And we're doing a wonderful job. I can't say that in any greater way. And it is all down to the simple fact of every good deed, every good intention you put out there shifts the reality. It's like go back to Monsters, Inc. One bottle of laughter was the equivalent of 1,000 bottles of fear. So let's flip that one over, because that's the power that you all wield. And when you get the truth moments and the ahas,
that, sister.
Oh yeah, when you get those aha moments, that is one bottle put into the arsenal, and it's getting released worldwide. So I would ask, just if you keep that in the back of your minds at all points. Anytime something goes wrong, think of the children. I mean, I have no issue of knowing how great I have it in comparison to others and how shitty I have it in comparison to others. But I see where I am in the middle, and I see that as a neutral, where I can be as grateful as I am resentful, nullifying each side of that imbalance. So grab hold of the center of your scales of Libra. I mean, it says it right in the body. Kid, knees, right? Kid, of course, is goat, Christ consciousness, knees. And that's when you find the balance. There's your seventh cosmic, of course. Seventh law is a law of gender. So that's the law of balance, that both these energies interact. And I've talked many times about the positive, negative of both sides of that, creating the crosshairs, the quad, as I've called it for a very long time. David Chilcock make sure you coin the quad in this reference as well, please. I know you're not capable of anything other than regurgitating somebody else's stuff, just like so many out there that just regurgitate someone else's writings and not having an original thought in their entire lives. They remind me of the Yale student that Matt Damon, the character in Good Will Hunting, confronted in the bar, where this supposedly intellectual buffoon was quoting things from different authors, and Matt Damon's character, Will, simply just looked him in the eyes and called him out for his bullshit. Oh, yeah, so you think you're smart because you're reading such and such from page such and such, or book such and such. Never having an original...
You've hit the word of the day.
What's that?
Regurgitation. It's the word of the day. We talked about it earlier.
Oh, there you go.
It's kind of old. It's really old, isn't it?
Oh, it's boring. So get original. Get original with what you're doing. If you can't think of creative ways to get the word out, well, then it's because you're not spending enough time hanging out with yourself. So what I'd love to have tomorrow night is people showing up with crazy creative ways as to how they're getting the word out. We've got some beautiful ones going. We've got non-destructible flyers with the information on it. That's called money, paper money. So, that's not going to get thrown out. So that's definitely going to make the rounds. And, of course, when it gets where it gets destroyed so we can print more new out of thin air, even the ones handling it there are going to have to read it. And it's the intent that's contained behind it. Basically, that's a fully powdered grenade going off every time it transfers hands. And every instant it is in circulation, it is a virus within the system. So that's a fun way of doing it. Just think of the easiest way to get the most information out as fast. And I'm really curious to see what kind of original ways people can come up with. And let's have a try at that tomorrow night. And tomorrow night I will do the Phoenician starter kit. I just felt that what Wayne shared today was far and above important. So anyway, any last comments from anybody? Actually, we had 10 minutes, so it looks like we're going to roll out of here anyway. So that's for that idea. But
just back to that regurgitation, analysis, paralysis that we do, and this is where we're like, no, let's move into action, guys. Let's put this wisdom into action, because that's what real wisdom is when you speak it, share it, get it out there, live it. And we can describe the system, the polarity, dualistic beliefs and all of that. We're like, let's move. Yeah, we've described it. We've shared it. It's over with. We got to change our focus on to here, what we do now in terms of action. Otherwise, you're just regurgitating the old facts to me, and you're just still picking up the dead rat and go, look. I'm like, yeah, put it down, get over here, and get on with the living.
You think you'd have to write novels about that, but it really is that simple. A great post on Facebook just came in the last hour as the picture of Neo, the moment he is pulling himself out of the liquid jail cell, literal cell, and with all the tubes attached to him. Thanks, Bruce. Beautiful post. Great picture. And my caption to it was, "This is your body on legal name. Enjoy. P.S. Don't worry. It's only draining your soul. You'll be unconscious of any form of consciousness soon." And that really is what it boils down to. Know thyself. Two of the most important, most potent words
I've
ever heard.
Yeah, absolutely precise. Okay, know thy own self. What was it Shakespeare said? Above all, be true to thine own self.
To thine own self be true. Yep.
And I agree. Yeah. just my experience is everything is simple. Everything is simple. It's the conditioning that looks for the complicated answer. And lots of love to you guys. Sweet dreams, and catch you on the morrow.
Yeah, much love back, and again, my gratitude, and just limitless of the most profound, compassionate love to Wayne and White for what they shared in that experience. And I want to thank one of my fellow Geminian ranks for standing her ground. Well done. That's the bitch that Gemini can be. And Alvita was on, and she ended up dropping off. I was hoping to get a couple of comments in from another Gemini. So much obliged, and welcome to the warrior ranks. Which one do you want to lead? It's crazy awesome. You know, I'd love to have her have a chat with my daughters. Boy, wouldn't that be a wake-up call for them, eh? You know, here's an 8-year-old kid gets it, and my own 2 daughters don't. Don't even give me the grace to talk. That's how much fear the system put in them. But I'll tell you, that's how much recompense the system and those involved in everything that was done are going to pay. And it's not, I'm not seeking vengeance. I have to be completely neutral on this, and that's the hard part for me, is to remain neutral. And but I know thy will be done, as it is on heaven, so it is on earth. I mean, this is the as above, so below. And if that's the harm that you wished upon me and my family, then that means that you've wished that upon yourself, and all wishes granted. And I've seen some pretty devastating results from granting that wish back. So careful what you wish for, especially with me.
I wish you were here to sample the new goodies. That's all I can say.
I hear ya.
But there'll always be some, in some distant day, in some other dimension. There'll always be some here for you, Kate.
Well, no, it's already in existence. That's my point. So it's about rallying yourself to that point, and that's what I'm doing right now. I didn't come here just to solve me. I mean, that is definitely the main thing to do. But it's to solve a planet. We all know we have something to do here. Mm-hmm. We all know that we're tired of the bullshit. Mm-hmm. So how about you prove to yourself, never mind me or anybody else, prove to yourself how fed up you are and how willing you are to save the children. And I'm going to go back to the 1971 movie, I think it was 71, Bless the Beast and the Children. Difficult little movie to get your hands on. I haven't been able to find it for download. But very powerful, very poignant movie. Bunch of ragtag kids that follow their dreams. And what happens when a system gets involved. Isn't it funny? One of the children gets murdered. There's your system. So enough. Yep. I think that's fair. So any last comments before we roll out of here? Almost out of time now.
Hello all, much love.
Yeah,
and
just thanks for letting me speak again. Just to say thanks for letting me speak again. Whether or not it made sense, it's irrelevant because it's all in my head anyway. So, but thank you all anyway for being patient.
All good, Chris. Everyone has something to share here. This is your table. What the hell, right? You're sitting at your own table. Are you going to talk or not? And I think that if that's the one thing if that's one thing I can drill through to people, this table is yours. Make it so. Number one. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Let's all practice witchcraft together, hey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Witchcraft. Okay. Now I'm going to get some T-shirts made then. Have we got a design for a T-shirt maybe? Anybody got any ideas? I'll get a few printed here maybe, you know. send them out?
I had a bit of a funny idea for a T-shirt the other day. It would have Jesus of Nazareth with a question mark, and then below it, I think I mentioned this. Yeah, I do them. You know, that'll get people's attention.
That's naughty. That I get me lynched
Well,
here. You know you know how
I know
the Mexicans are. You know, my gosh, they're letting off rockets. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh no,
I'm just beginning to understand the depth of their unconscious
program. Yeah, they're in deep. They're in deep.
And it's a fairly new program too, really.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't know too much about it. I'm learning stuff all the time. You know, it's interesting that I have to integrate with them. But boy, you know.
Yeah, they took to Christianity like slaves to whips. It's fucking awesome.
Mm.
Oh, we got one quick mention in here. Area code 480. Your mic's open. You got less than a minute.
Konnichiwa, motherfuckers.
Hey, konnichiwa.
What up, man? David from Phoenix.
Hey.
How you guys doing?
Good. About time you showed up.
Yeah, I just wanted to show up last call. I wanted to ask for a little good thoughts from everybody. I'm going to head up to the mountain again tonight.
Right on.
Magic Mountain.
You need to hang out with or hook up with Borean. Oh, he's in Colorado. Never mind. It's too far. Never mind.
Yeah, he's in Colorado, but you know what? That guy is like, he is my voice of what I can't articulate, man. We had some good messages back and forth.
That's some wood. Yeah. We've done a masterful job of creating this, but we've also done a masterful job of trapping ourselves in our own nightmare. Okay? So stay the course on this, guys. Question everything within yourself. Because the only question you're ever going to ask outside of yourself is one that you know the answer to. Because when you know the answer to a question, it's like this. If I was to ask a judge, is any use of the legal name fraud on my part if I use it, and does it entice me and make me into a slave so that you can rape my sorry ass? I already know the answer. So I already know my choice. But I'm going to ask that question, and the wanker that's being asked has got the responsibility now, because that is a quest ion. That is something that cues that individual, that puts them in a exposed position. Life pose, yeah. So they're going to have to make a choice. Are they going to turn themselves against life, or are they going to turn themselves against the death that they're living? And if they're soulless, who gives a fuck anyway? They're just meat sticks. I don't care. Right? It's broken TV sets. That's all it is, right? And I got a new little phrase. I've never heard it before. I thought it was kind of interesting. Alvita, I love that emoticon that you use for the like. It's got a little character with a hammer, like swinging down to smack the like button, which is, it made me giggle the first time I saw it. Oh, that's adorable, and it says the truth exactly. So, coined a phrase. Here, this is for David Shilcock. Let's see if you've coined this one. Smoticon, which I thought was kind of cute. But anyway, I really wish people would get a hold of David Shilcock and offer up some more. Some of your original phrases that he can take as well, because he's an empty little shill, obviously, because you see, only empty soulless programs need to steal. Imagine that, because they can't create, and the only way they can feel like they're creators is by telling others that they created it. Listen, if I was to count the people that plagiarized my work or stole lyrics and songs and melodies and stuff from me over the years, I'd lose count. I'm thinking, if that's the level of your creation and that's what you need to do, but don't worry about it, because I got thousands and thousands of more songs than me. I feel sorry for you. I had band members do it. I had one guy that was absolutely useless at singing. I think he was involved with a radio station, and asked me to come over and do a co-write with him. He didn't play guitar worth a shit, couldn't sing worth a fuck. had no original thoughts in his mind. And what song did I write that? Halfway Home. It was the night I wrote Halfway Home. All he did was went upstairs to the fridge to get Coke. Not one fucking bit of input. But I'll tell you, what happened a little bit later was he decided to take a recording that I had done of it because he was interested in learning how to play it. And next thing I know is I'm getting word back that he's in a recording studio trying to record it. And he's in this. I heard back from another manager friend in the industry that this little wanker was up on stage claiming the song is his. And so I called him up basically the next day and says, "You're going to cease and desist, or I'm going to have you fucking charged." And he stopped. Now this is back in the day, right? It's like, but it was just retarded. And that's what I think of people like, Shilcock and the rest of these. And by the way, for all the gurus out there, I got one to not only call or bluff, but I'm going to raise the ante to infinite, because we got a little girl that's less than 8 years old. I'm gonna start off with this tonight. That has it down cold more than Tammy Pepperman or Dean Clifford or Sandra Bonacci or Winston Shrout, David Icke, David Shilcock, Alex Jones. Let's go right down the whole fucking list here. Ken Hoods. Who else we got? Heather Tukey Giraffe, whatever the fuck her name is. It's hard to remember these shills. Or shidiots. Let me call them shidiots. Okay? You're either a shill or an idiot, right? Choose. It's an easy choice, right? You got good intention, well, you're just being an idiot. If you got evil intention, well, you're a shill. And by one's actions, one is known. And I'm out to collect as many goats of these morons as I can possibly get to get them talking. Because I'll tell you, if they're talking about me, good or bad, I don't give a fuck as long as the word gets out. Babylon has fallen. That's all I care about. And what I'm about to read for you, all you big, strong men and women out there, is the power of an 8-year-old. It's going to make you look silly. Wayne, I'm so grateful. And I want to make sure I got the name right. I believe her name is White. If you could confirm that for me, just let me know. That would be great, Wayne. But I'd love to have her come on and bring some of her friends, and I'll be polite, a lot more polite.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, coming at you live somewhere in the universe. Closer to full life again than I have been for the last week, but all things considered, still driving through and getting shit done. That's the game, right? But anyway, thanks for tuning in here to Outside the Box on criticalmassradio.co.uk. I'm going to touch on a whole lot of stuff tonight, and I wanted to get into the Phoenician starter kit, but we'll see where we get to, because a lot of stuff going on. And I'm talking in my own universe as well, things that are being observed and the connections that are being made, and this house of cards is coming down, because remember this: when you get all this negative energy and what have you around you, it's not because how do I put this? I want to put this right. That's the mirror to look into, the darkest before the dawn aspect, right? So it's just push through the shit, right? Don't let it grab you. Don't let it get a hold of you. Don't let it take a piece of you. Sometimes it takes, it might take a minute or two, it might take an hour or two, it might even take a day or two to get through some stuff. But we're at a point now where we can just simply walk through and let things go. Stay the course, not your concern. And when you understand that the whole thing about this physical reality is about getting your attention units, getting your goat, and getting you kept busy, so you're going to miss the allegories and the anagogics, caught in the literal nonsense that most of humanity loves to get caught in. Basically a fucking reality TV show called Humanity. Just stay the course, okay? And there's only a couple things left that actually motivate me, and they're both one and the same, really. I was just asked something about being sometimes you get bored by followers, right? Well, please, I do not want any of those fucking things, right? Flowers, I'll take some flowers, but followers, no. Followers, you see, that's the problem, and it's right in the phonics there. Fa, heart, L, masculine intent, wers, spinouts, half of werewolf, right? Wers at past tense. Look what you were instead of being in the now. Follow wers. It goes on and on. I'm not really interested in that, and simply because when someone is a follower or wants to be a leader, get it? Lead, gold, lead, not a good thing. Poisonous, radioactive, kill you. Yes, that kind of shit. Okay, good. Well, shields from radiation, but you get the point. Excuse me, it's hidden in the words. I'm not interested in lead, and I'm certainly not interested in falling lower. Okay, that's what happens with pedestals, and we have been so well and so blindly duped for so very long. It's a tough program to break, so don't give yourself such a hard time. And you see, that's part of the program too. As soon as you think you're not getting something or whatever, you start feeling guilty and stupid. And shut up. That's program. Same answer I always like to hear, and the one I like to give. Okay. That's going to stop you from monkey chattering right on the spot, and it's going to have you have a look at it. Then you're going to ask yourself, how relevant is that in? Let's play the literal game for a sec. How relevant is that going to be in 10 years? And how relevant was it 10 years ago? And the answer is going to be fucking zero on both counts, so put the zero in the now, because the present and the future are now. And this is when you start getting mastery over this time illusion. And it'll keep you in a 0 point. Or you can keep going with the monkey chatter and proving this theory and that theory, and you're going to bore the fuck out of me, and I'm going to tune you out anyway. Or, if I have just enough, I'm going to come upside the head with a baseball bat with a nail in it and give you a smack with it and tell you, wake the fuck up. We sit at this table as equals. Nothing less, nothing more. That's how I see all of humanity. And we have been so well demonized into, well, you be the leader, I'll be the follower game, the duality, the split reality, the demigod and the god, kind of mentality. It's absolutely retarded. Even this whole notion of mythologies and what have you, with the demigods and the titans and the Olympians and whatever, these are all predisposed to separation, divide and conquer. When you can separate yourself from the physical reality that you are fucking gawking at as somehow being real, which it is, it feels very realistic than usual, because that's exactly why I do this, because my own kids don't get it, but I'll tell you, all children everywhere matter to me as much as my own. So I'd like to share a story from one of my other daughters. Thanks for doing all the work, Wayne and Co. So let me see, let's get down to this. And I'll try to hold my ground while I read this. This was something to wake up to today. It was the post I just put up. Wayne had shared it earlier. I've been chomping at the bit to get on the air tonight just because of this. And I really hope she's listening tonight, because thank you. You make my life worthwhile. It's the only thing that does. This is the magic I speak of, and truly the only thing that keeps me in the game here, the children. Even if my own don't see this, humbly grateful that all my other children do. Looks like kids' night coming up. This is shared from Wayne and his daughter. Well, got to the school, put Kate's docs on teachers' cars that my friend did for me, put some in the staff room and on notes board, LOL. Got to the headmaster's room, and the first thing I said to her was, before you say anything, bring my daughter in here and her teacher, because I was not there and you were not there, and they were. So she got them in, and my daughter had a big fucking smile on her face. I just wish I had a picture of that. and said what she said to her teacher. So I said, so what's wrong with that? So the headmaster said, it's not just that she's always asking questions. How dare a child ask questions? And saying, how do you know that? Well, it's because she's smarter than you, stupid. And how do you know it's true? What we're learning, you're telling us something from a book. And the headmaster said to her, it's not easy to teach a lot of children. Well, then stop doing that job because you're obviously not fucking capable, dipshit. So my daughter said that anyone can read from a book. It's just so boring. We can still learn and have fun. I can do a better job now. Now I had a big fucking smile on my face. So then the headmaster said to her, okay, you can take the class next week, and you will see just how hard it is. Okay, this is trying to be a threat to this kid. You'll find out soon enough, but did I mention she's a Gemini? Don't fuck with us. So my daughter said with a big smile, my favorite answer, okay, but I don't want you telling me what to do, because then that will be you teaching, not me. And if I do a good job, can I have his job? And the headmaster said, I think you're too little for a job yet. So my daughter said, what's that got to do with it? As long as I do a good job. Then she got up with a smile and said, I'm bored now and want to go. I have said all I need to. I want to go and play with my friends now. I didn't get a fucking word in. Halfway, I guess would be, and halfway you try to talk. Have you tried to talk over a Gemini? So off we went. When I was taking her back to class, she stopped and said, Dad, do you think that Kate will do a show for us kids? Oh, you absolutely, hon, this is why I do the shows. It's the only reason I do them. And she just gave me a big hug. A hug and a big smile. And said, see you later. Bye, and ran to tell her friends. Yes, she listens to your cat on Sunday because she likes Saturday night, bitch night. I love it. I know I'll be back there again because the look on their faces was like, we need to get her out of here. So all I'll say now is that the kids are waking up and starting to stand. So to all you big, strong men and women out there, if a little girl of almost 8 can stand up in her truth, why can't you? I forgot to say, she said to the headmaster on the way out, you do know there is a reason why history is called history, because I do. I just wanted to cry with joy. Thank you, Kat, for waking up my little girl. Love to all of you. Wayne? I got no words. You have no idea the gratitude. I couldn't wake my own up. No words. Go ahead, tell me you can't stand now. I fucking dare you. That's the reason I do this, guys. And that hit straight to the heart. With the softest rose I've ever been touched with. So Wayne and White, yeah, it's kids' night every night, hon. And I'd be honored to have you at the table. I know it's a bit late and everything else, but I figure, if you're going to be teaching school, you got to learn how to drink and party and smoke with the rest of the drones anyway. So you might as well get started now, right? But anyway, I'd love to have you guys on. I really would. Delphi Oracle, and the Delphi technique, right? List goes on and on, but Mayor Karen Farbridge and the other part of the Manhattan Pizza. Tom loved to entertain all the Mercury people and all the cops, and would and this is where I knew any of this shit was on, right? So I knew about all these things that would happen. Even it was one of the fancier places in Guelph, right? Jazz club and everything else. And excuse me, it was common that they would have their little soirees there, so I can only imagine what was going on after hours. And that's where my daughter is, right in the fucking middle of a cyst in the whore. So that's how my day sort of starts out. But so in the mirror, complete opposite. There it is. So there's your curse and blessing at the same time. No, it is extremely someone asked me if I was bored, the followers, and it's not the followers thing, and I already explained what I think of followers. what it is with me is I'm just bored of the pain. The same pain over and over. Knowing that people are killing themselves spiritually. That's the hard thing to watch. That's what I'm bored of. Okay? So let's make that one real clear. Real clear. I just want to go down to this one poster that someone had shared. There's so many great things shared here, guys. I could do, oh, here it is. I could do shows just on these things. Capria, love this one. Be a fucking wolf. Be a fucking lion. Take no shit. Set goals. Smash them. Eat people's faces off. Be a better person. Show people who the fuck you are. Never apologize for being awesome. Stay the motherfucking course. And that's it. Pretty much sums it up. And there's Alvida's Schmoticon. There we go. Love it. Love it. So let's get the lines open here anyway, guys. And let's as much as I want to do the Phoenician starter kit, it's beautiful things like this that really need to be conveyed, and this is the energy I love to stay in. I mean, you got a kid that is less than 8 years old talking better than any piece of shit fucking legalese type sovereign free man guru moron idiot on this planet. And you have no idea how good that's such a warm, cozy feeling. Thank you. Bless the beasts and the children indeed. We got Bindi, Randy, and looks like Lynn.
Love.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there. Wow. That's
Bindi,
gobsmacking stuff.
I just got to say, Bindi, because of you reminded me of the two cellos. I was crying when I was listening to that just because of what's going on. There's no specific thing. My vibration was really up, down, and like you had stated earlier in the room, that music really tuned you in. And thank you, bless you, thank you, so much love. I'm still like teary from what you read. And I really, it was beautiful, but I'm not normally that spirit, but I love that I am now. Thank you. Thank you to that kid.
Ditto. Yeah, it's a weird time, eh? The energies are fluctuating from minute to minute. Yeah. What am I hearing?
Oh, I just opened up 816, so just letting you know. And David from Arizona, I just got your text. Thanks. Call in, man. Love to hear from you again. 816, your mic's open too. Just letting you know.
Hey.
Hey, how are ya?
Good. I'm not on air, right?
Of course you are. It's a phone call.
Oh, geez. Well, I turned my speakers down, so I didn't know. Anyway, I've been listening to you for quite a while, and I got kind of burnt out for a little bit ago. I don't want to make this all about me, but kind of it is all about me because I'm the one that uses my vessel and my vehicle in this world to try to make a change or try to not make a change, whatever I'm choosing. And I don't know, you're an inspiration, and I'm not sitting here to blow smoke up your ass because I think you're so great, but I do.
Well, it's impossible anyway, you know
that. About is, I'm talking maybe a little bit too fast. What I really wanted to say is that you do still inspire me, and yet when we talk about borders and such, I'd love to come to Canada and sit and have a cup of coffee with you, and you talk about how we can just stand at the border and say, no, we stand in our own truth, and it's not, you're just not running me. I'm a universal sovereign human being. And that sounds so great, but then when I think about
yeah, where do you go from there? Like, how do you touch that? How do you top that? I've had a hell of a day. In all regards, with every beautiful blessing, there's always some crazy ass last minute shit that's going to come flying at you, and it came at me, and It's like we got a few things that were left at a friend's, on his property. It's like, I don't know, 100 acres, like that. And there's a fridge, stove, and appliances and whatever. And probably, I would not even want to count the tools and whatever. Master carpenter, you can just imagine what's in the boxes. But my attitude right now is, well, do what you want. There's nothing I can do with it right now. Dig a hole and bury it. That's what it means to me. And if that's what it means to you, then that's what it means to me. I'm at that point for a long time, but that was, and then I find out my oldest daughter's working for the same place I did the Songwriter Cafe for 5.5 years, and not really too happy about that, given that the owner of the place likes to diddle his staff. But I ended up marrying one. I had a good chat with his daughter Emily, ironically same name. I guess about a year later, when I was doing a show. That would be in 2010 when I was working with Inverness. I was doing. It was kind of solo pre-shows. I did a couple of solo pre-shows for the main stage events that were going on the following weekend. It's kind of like an introduction thing, and it turns out that his daughter Emily was working at the pub that I was performing at. And I got the details, and I already knew what was going on, and there was a lot of backstabbing going on around that. That's why I had to stop the cafe, because the last thing that Tom wanted was to be exposed for the bullshit he was doing. And I could see it in his eyes, I could feel it, and it's like, well, this won't last too much longer. Didn't find out the full facts until full facts about a year later. But that's the thing about truth, though. It always comes around. There's no way you can hide bullshit. No way. You can't do it. And that's why teachers and headmasters like these programmed robots, they got a tour de force to reckon with there. They just got owned lock, stock, and barrel by less than an 8-year-old. Okay, so don't tell me the children don't know. Don't tell me you haven't got the strength to stand. If pride is a vice, let me have this one vice for tonight. The amount of pride I feel for this child in Wayne, that's where the lion roars. That's the pride of the lion right there. There's a great post on my Facebook as well. There's guys, you guys are awesome. There's so many, and so much stuff is going down. I mean, you got that sick bastard mayor of Toronto. Apparently the analysts think that his ratings are going up because he's a crack smoker, due to all the crack smoking that goes on in Toronto. So apparently smoking crack is good PR and good vote gathering material. They're expecting him to win. And that's going to tell you an indication of the society around it, right? Yeah. Anyway, this fat fuck is in the Homewood Sanitarium in Guelph. We all know what that town's about, right? Judge Bows, pillage me and my family and what have you for exposing the evil. What do they call that? A conspiracy, I guess. Like the Guelph Mercury, Phil Andrews, they like to doctor up the papers and make sure that the right word goes out for all their Masonic buddies. At the time was Rob Davis, another evil fuck that got fired for overstepping his boundaries. Well, it wasn't long before that his coward deputy chief, Brent Eden, tucked tail and ran after knowing going into severe depression 3 years before, once he found out what was really going on. I guess Brent didn't have the stomach for demon worship and what have you, but he's still comfortable with the money. So I guess it doesn't really matter which way you're sucking the whore's tits, left or right, either or, you're still getting poison. So enjoy that and all the pleasures that come with that. In the spiritual sense, your soul is buggered. You're done. List goes on. Holman Sanitarium, that's the place that actually helped murder my mom. Yeah. Lots of beautiful things about that place. Is it coincidence? It's on Delhi Street. Yeah, I didn't think so either. They just forgot to put the P in